12 a.m.
We're live.
We're live. Well, I gotta wait for the data to go through. Up says excellent connection. It says currently we only have 0 views.
Oh,
so where are the people in the chat? I don't see them.
Stop freaking out.
Ain't I a spaz? I gotta learn to be less emotional.
Well, I mean, refresh the page.
Here, refreshing it now.
Yeah, it says 5 or...
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, you see,
what it was doing.
You're such a spaz.
Here, I'm gonna move this stuff around. We gotta make a new intro to the stream.
This is our intro. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, so it's less awkward, like sort of soft opening.
Okay, wait.
Here.
Before we start, is there anything behind? Because every time you used to stream, it was, are we live? Was there some miscommunication going on?
No, I just didn't know what else to say. We gotta find a way to, I guess, introduce the stream more efficiently.
What?
More vigor to it.
I was thinking about, welcome to the stream, everybody.
Welcome to the stream. We're gonna go over all the genocides and all the kids dying. Everyone's favorite topic. Here, we're going over Venezuela. So Trump, who is a man of his word, he promised he's going to focus on the working American. He's not going to get involved in all this foreign affairs and everything. So
he said that?
Yeah, both of his campaigned on staying out of foreign affairs and just focusing on like the internal kind of conflicts, and looks like he's not really a man of his word. I guess he's also going to try to help the Venezuelan people.
I mean, all he does is hang out in other countries.
Yeah. Who would want to hang out in America?
Look at that!
Oh.
Egg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
To be fair, yeah, I would want to hang out here. It looks a lot more exciting. There's more stuff going on. Gotta put
Excuse me.
5 speed.
Mom egg. How crazy. Fly there. Look at that. They exploded all that over there loudly. You're not exploding.
1, 2, is that 3, 4, 5?
Oh,
Fuck is he saying? He's like, they're not exploding.
man.
6.
I see explosions.
How crazy.
7.
Ooh.
It said 7.
We got home on time.
Is that the last one?
See, like in Baltimore, I only hear gunshots at night. Here, they have like a whole pyro show.
Look at that.
My bomber.
Baltimore.
8.
Damn. Okay, so how many civilians do you think died in that blast?
I don't
here we get
know.
More fireworks. And some music. So Caracas, that's their capital.
Caracas. And it's on the north. Pull up that map. It's on the north near the ocean, right?
Yeah, so they do have a shit ton of like oil towers, oil rigs, but it's something like 7,000 out of 12,000 of them are inoperable. And then the remaining like 5,000 are just barely functioning. So that they have the largest stockpile of oil on the planet, but they lack the infrastructure to extract it all.
Yeah.
Because they've neglected the infrastructure due to corruption. Well, at least they got it done in 30 minutes. I mean, like Israel, it's like
2 years.
That they had to turn. Yeah, it's been 2 years, and they claimed that they had to turn the entire place into a parking lot, get it done with quickly, and they didn't really get it done with quickly.
Not a full invasion.
So I'm wondering, Maduro, he's done a lot of really fucked up shit. Like torture. They're known for like torturing different political opponents or people just that are guilty of sedition towards the government, using like stress positions, asphyxiation, waterboarding. So I'm wondering, but his wife, why did they capture his wife? That's something that, what did she do?
Yeah. External disturbance.
Okay.
So, when are you going to tell us the whole history of Venezuela?
Well, they hit rich in oil, but then that's like it's known as, what is it, the Dutch law when it comes to economics, where if you invest an economy, or if the economy is invested on entirely one particular good, then that usually doesn't end well. It's also known as the rule of 20, because then its currency is directly tied to that particular resource. So if the value in that resource drops, the entire, like, its currency drops in value, so the entire economy will collapse. So they were like one of the wealthiest countries on the planet uh in the like earlier half of the 20th century, and then what I described happened and their economy just plummeted. And the guy before, it's Chiev, I think, was the guy before Maduro. And Maduro, like, he did win his initial election, but it was by like less than 1%. And since then, it's believed that he's rigged, stolen all of the following elections. So there's one a year.
Yeah, so 2013, he took over when Chavez died.
Yeah.
Is what I have here. And then, 2024.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of really bad stuff, like I described. Like between I think it was 2014 to 2017, roughly like 8,000 people were killed by their police services. And there's that one police service, it's Siben, I think. It's Siben. And that's like his Gestapo. So if people criticize the government, he'll send them to their like place of residence. Sometimes they'll execute them on the spot, make it look like it was a accident. And another thing is a lot of the militias in the country, or the cartels, he will support them, provide like the cartels with money and resources, because that incites fear on the people. So a lot of the militias, like throughout the entire country, are actually supported by Maduro's regime.
Oh, I thought that was like not quite true, because he was being accused of like the head of, I forgot what it was, a Tregua or something like that. Okay. So he's a bad guy.
Yeah, he's not nice.
Shock after the US strikes hit military bases in Venezuela and removed President Nicolas Maduro. Many people stayed home as Venezuelan security forces patrolled the streets. Of those who were out, some express hope of political change.
Oh, wait, it's lagging.
Franklin Jimenez, concerned that
the video's lagging.
Yeah. I don't know why. Is it because I'm messing with Discord or something?
Don't know.
Concerned
Still
that
lagging?
an even worse conflict.
Well, we're not using Discord.
And that's
right. No,
lagging?
it's fine.
Okay.
To defend ourselves. But excitement is in the air for supporters of the opposition, led by Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado outside the country.
Okay, it's lagging again. Do you need to like adjust your settings or something?
Here. Sometimes if you stop sharing and you reshare. Share again. Is that better?
Hold on. Okay.
with people like Milagros Ortega talking.
I think so.
My dad, being a political leader in Venezuela, was able to see this change. He used to say, "Daughter, when you go back, when this government leaves, you'll return to Venezuela." And to know that my dad in his lifetime was able to see the fall of Nicolas Maduro, look, for me, it's an emotion. I would like to see his...
See, look at how altruistic Trump is. He did it for the good of the people. It's totally for not other sort of coveted reasons.
face.
Since 2014, around 7.7 million Venezuelans have left the country, according to the UN International Organization for Migration. Venezuelans living in Spain also rejoiced at Maduro's capture.
Okay, hold on.
What's that?
It's like lagging again. Let me just quit Discord. I don't know if it has anything to do with on my end. Just let me try this. Quit Discord. Okay.
Still in the country.
Still
Some of them
lagging?
are
It's fine.
at home. A few other people in Caracas went out to stock up on essentials. Some of them are concerned that they may now have to hunker down for a prolonged period, uncertain of what is to come.
I don't know. I don't think Trump did a good job with the invasion. I mean, look at how many buildings are still standing.
Well, residents in our area originally from Venezuela reacting to this historic news. 10 on your side's Angela Bohan spoke with some of them and shares their feelings.
Here off Pleasure House Road in Virginia Beach, inside this Venezuelan restaurant, the emotions were raw just hours after learning the news that U.S. forces had captured President Nicolas Maduro.
We're so excited. We're really grateful for what's happening. This is the best thing that can happen.
Okay, it's lagging again.
Venezuela.
Here, let me... How about now?
And working in Hampton Roads didn't want to...
Yeah.
She wants everyone to know what a moment...
Grateful for what's happening. This is the best thing.
I don't...
What was happening differently last time?
I don't know. Like, I just quit Discord. I don't know what else to... Or maybe I can quit some of these, like, 5 million... I can close it. I don't know if it has to do... Give me 1 second.
All right, change the settings again. Can't tell if it's lagging for us because she keeps making pause it. Oh.
Well, I can tell, like, right away.
Living and working in Hampton Roads didn't want to be identified.
Bookmark all
What
tab.
a momentous day this is for her.
Is it still lagging?
Yeah, I think I saw it lagging a little bit. Hold on, I'm exiting that window. Okay, let's see if it's better now.
Celebrating, they know it's a work in progress.
The bad part is that I don't think that anything is going to end.
Yeah, I guess I have a shitty computer.
Will run Venezuela
Well, it might just be Zoom. We might just have to switch to Discord next time.
transition of power can take place. Fabian
I asked you.
Watching the news closely.
It's the State Department fucking with you.
Caracas, do you want a vacation there?
President for a long time.
No.
It comes months after U.S. military
No.
in the region. Norfolk-based ships were...
Okay, so Jean, it's also, now it's doing, do you remember it doing that thing where those black squares were on the screen?
Here. That was when, how about now?
Sure, something that didn't surprise
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's fixed.
I think everybody is expecting a different kind of leader. A leader who cares about people in Venezuela, who cares about their economy.
So do you think this would change things for you as
Now,
far
Trump
as...
recently says that they're going to take control of Venezuela and their oil.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think maybe Trump should let China have Taiwan and let Russia have Ukraine, and then we get to have Venezuela and Cuba?
Oh, God.
Maybe that would help. And like I said, World War III, it's not going to be NATO dealing with Russia and China. It's going to be the rest of the world dealing with the US, China, and Russia. America's going to try to take Greenland, and then Greenland's a NATO state. So we're going to attack Greenland after colonizing Venezuela.
To go back and visit
That would be hilarious.
Venezuela. I would love to visit my country one day.
Who thinks that's funny, chat?
It's going to be the best time, but I would love to do it.
What? You don't think it's a good joke?
For all my plans, for all my coworkers.
What about North Korea? Because they're always up to something with their nukes.
I think they just built nukes as a deterrent. I don't think they will ever plan on attacking the United States.
And I hope this is going to be the beginning for a new life or for a new chapter.
He says a memorable way to start 2026. In Virginia Beach, Angela Bohan, 10 on your side.
The United States launching an extraordinary nighttime attack on Venezuela. Dramatic video capturing the U.S. strikes overnight. Explosions ringing out in Venezuela's capital city beginning just before 2 a.m. local time. The night sky above Caracas.
2 a.m.
Massive flames engulfing.
Okay, wait.
Imagine waking up to a bunch of bombs going off.
That'd be crazy. So, okay, I felt like this was crazy because I went to sleep at like 1 a.m. I went to sleep pretty fucking early that night. And then I woke up at 5 a.m. and I was like, what the fuck is this? Nicholas Rosa had posted from the AP News in the Discord. And I'm like, they kidnapped him at like 3 hours ago? So I just thought it was so crazy when I was reading it. And I posted a bunch of articles and I haven't been able to like stop reading about it ever since.
But the issue is, I don't know, they're likely going to try to create a provisionary government, appoint somebody who's loyal to the United States because we want the oil.
Wait, can we talk? I have a whole like thing to talk about. Or do you want to keep going?
Well, the issue is with Iraq, is it's going to be a repeat of Iraq because when we invaded Iraq and ousted Saddam, things just got worse. It destabilized the entire region. So we didn't have any sort of plans in place for what we were going to do afterwards, and things just progressively got worse. So the issue is, are we going to have a repeat here? So I don't know. Do you think Trump is going to be better with your sort of occupation logistics as opposed to Bush?
I don't know. Because I don't know history. But wait, I did want to talk about, I have a list, Gene. Okay, so it was kind of going around that Trump wanted to, destabilize the government and put Maria Corina Machado in because she was the one who was like...
She won a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, and then she said, it should have gone to Trump. So she's like fueling his ego. So everyone was saying, he's going to get her in. But then he actually said, like, no, the country's not going to respect you. So we're not going to put you in. And then he's saying, like, Delcy needs to be in. What's her name? Delcy Rodriguez? That she needs to be in there as the president since she's the vice president. And she's like, no, Maduro's the only president. And then I just read that she might be in Russia. So that's how the government is going so far, like at this moment, is the person who's supposed to be president might or might not be in Russia.
Yeah, well, I mean, if she's the vice president, that would be under Maduro's like regime. So why would he want her?
Yeah, and that's confused. I was like, whoa, wait, everyone, that's what I'm saying. Like everyone thought Maria because like it seems like the best way to get on Trump's good side is to like butter him up and do something that he'll like, and Delcy's not doing that. Yeah, I'm very confused.
See, Trump is proof that he's developing dementia. I mean,
he forgot who he likes.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're supposed to kiss his ass and he gives you whatever you want. So, I mean, he's clearly declining.
President Trump confirming the strikes and announcing the United States has captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Who do you think's fatter, him or Trump?
Nicolas.
Trump writing online, the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader.
I don't know.
Who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction
to New York.
Venezuela's defense minister, speaking from an unknown place, calling it the most criminal military aggression from the U.S. in the history of our country. The massive escalation.
Yeah, I could see in the history of Venezuela, but, well, there was a drone attack on Maduro a few years ago, and people were speculating, like, was it the cartels or some, like, paramilitary force, or was it the United States behind the attempted, like, drone assassination attempt?
Mm-hmm.
Coming after a significant U.S. military buildup in the region. The Pentagon striking more than 30 boats the U.S. alleges were involved in drug trafficking operations. At least 115 people killed since those strikes began on September 2nd. In a memo obtained by ABC News in October, the administration telling Congress that America is...
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They're saying that Rubio, that he likely is persuading Trump to follow through with this because Rubio's got connections with Cuba. Like, his family, they fled from Cuba. So he's probably trying to convince Trump to shift his focus to Cuba after they try to deal with their operations in Venezuela. Yeah.
Oh, I think. Oh, well, I was gonna say something, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll say it kind of at the end of the story. But yeah, didn't I just read a news article saying like he's going after Cuba next or something?
Yeah, and Greenland, Cuba, and Greenland.
Yeah,
the whole world.
Armed conflict. And
Greenland is technically part of the Americas, so it seems like Trump's a big fan of the Monroe Doctrine.
Did you see? It was like renamed Donroe.
Oh God!
Did you see that?
No. Do you know? What is it? He wants it to be like the Gulf of America. I said it should just be the Trump Golf.
I like that.
Are deemed unlawful combatants. President Maduro facing drug charges.
Oh, but the Monroe Doctrine. That's pretty much. Do you know what that is?
I don't remember.
So James Monroe, he was like the 5th, 6th president. He wrote a letter like addressing like the different European powers. I believe it was directly directed to France, and it was about like, hey, America, we're the Western power in the Americas, so we're gonna police all the countries here. So stay out of our affairs. You guys can police Africa and Asia. We're gonna police the Americas.
Okay, wait. So I pulled it up. If you Google the Donroe Doctrine, is a term used to describe a recent shift in U.S. foreign policy under President Donald Trump, which aims to assert American dominance in the Western Hemisphere, particularly in Latin America, while opposing foreign influence, especially from China. It builds on the historical Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah. It was Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren. Yeah, I believe that's the order of the presidents.
After federal prosecutors alleged he deliberately used cocaine as a weapon. Back in 2020, U.S. officials
now, a very, very small percentage of all of the drugs in the drug trade that make its way to the United States actually come through Venezuela. And a lot of the drugs aren't that, like, if there's actually drugs in those boats that are being destroyed, which I have no doubt a lot of them were carrying drugs, chances are the cartels, the criminals that were trafficking them, were from other countries that were west or south of Venezuela, not Venezuela themselves. So there are certain criminal enterprises that are very pronounced in Venezuela, like human trafficking, but drug trafficking out of like all the countries in Latin America, it's definitely not one of the more prominent in that particular black market.
We'll pause it. Yeah, I heard that it moves through Venezuela. But did you just say that it's not like produced in Venezuela?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of it's just on its way through.
The Venezuelan leader. In recent days, more signs pointing to this latest attack. The USS,
the largest aircraft carrier
in the world, spotted on New Year's Day, seen in these satellite images.
In the world. What?
We only have like 12 or 20 something aircraft carriers. We need like 50 or 60.
Closer to Venezuela's coast than it had ever been amidst the recent bout of tensions just some 200 miles away. And the FAA banning U.S. commercial flights in Venezuelan airspace for...
AP history, ball knowledge. Yeah.
Quote, ongoing...
Did you know I was in AP history?
I'm not surprised. You were in all AP, right?
Yeah.
And strikes were imminent.
We'll start that on land too. It's going to be starting on land pretty soon.
Saying in a recent interview with...
What did he fucking say? You have it on too fast.
Only 1.5 speed.
Well, I know, but what did he just say? Like, I didn't even catch that.
We'll start that on land
or put on the subtitles. Sorry, I know I just talked over it, but...
He's talking about putting boots on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Land strikes were imminent.
We'll start that on land too. It's going to be starting on land pretty soon.
Someone in the chat said the drug epidemic is engineered by the government, and the real fentanyl source has a Zionist Jew as their president. So we don't focus on them.
Is it Israel? Is that who they're talking about?
I don't know. I think the drug trade's very complicated, and there's a large network, including criminals in the United States. And we're not fans of Israel, but I don't think Israel's really the party to point or to look at when it comes to the drug trade in the Americas. But you did have the Contra affairs, so maybe give them some blame there.
In a recent interview,
but we'll get to Iran. So Iran and Israel, they, out of all the Middle Eastern countries, they definitely have meddled in Latin America the most.
That he wants to see Maduro gone.
So how far would you go to take Maduro out of office?
I don't want to say that,
But you want to see him out?
his days are numbered.
Can you rule out an American ground invasion?
I don't want to rule in and out. I don't talk about it.
For his part, Maduro had said...
Somebody said, bullshit, it's made in Mexico.
I love Trump.
It's made in a wide variety of different countries, not just but even Mexico. A lot of the drugs aren't produced in Mexico. They're produced like in Honduras or other like Latin American countries, mostly
Colombia. That Colombian cocaine.
Well, the problem is you have the Darien Gap. So there aren't any roads built between the Darien Gap, and that's in Lake Columbia on the border of like Panama. So a lot of times they have to take boats or whatever, or they're just produced in Central America, like north of the Darien Gap.
Just 1 day ago that he was open to talks with the U.S. and in a separate...
Do you even know who the president of Mexico is?
Scheinbaum. Did I pronounce her name correctly?
Probably not.
No, it's President Scheinbaum.
Okay.
Did I get it right? Nah, just shut up.
I think that conversation was even pleasant.
Okay, I'll Google it.
Conversation haven't been pleasant. Let's hope.
Just absolutely stunning developments here. And Matt, you're learning a lot more.
Do we even need this, or can we just have a whole conversation and cover this, like, without...
Yeah, we can just talk to the chat about cocaine.
Oh yeah, Claudia. It's probably... Yeah. Claudia is probably pronounced, like, in Spanish or whatever. Claudia Scheinbaum. I don't know how to say Scheinbaum in...
I think it is Scheinbaum, because that's how I heard it pronounced.
Or Scheinbaum or something. Yeah. You're right.
Special forces involved.
Yeah, each...
Well, you talked about a Zionist Jew, so I don't know who you're referring to there when we're talking about like stuff going on in Latin America.
Kind of hour that goes by in the story, Gio, we're learning more and more details that just are more stunning than the next. And so President Trump was actually just on Fox News, and he gave out some details. Forgive me, I'm going to reference my phone here because we're just getting this information in. But he says at one point that special forces went into the complex where Maduro was living. They had to break into what he describes as steel doors, the kind of safety room that the heads of state often have to kind of hide in these sorts of situations. He's saying lots of helicopters, lots of different fighter jets, and then he described it as an Osama bin Laden type raid where he could watch this raid play out in real time. So he basically...
Venezuelans are partying in the middle of the street right now because Trump did his job and remove the dictator. If this does turn out well, I don't think Trump did this for altruistic reasons.
Oh, we'll go over that.
Yeah.
We will go, yeah.
Said that Maduro was trying to do everything possible to stay away from
this. That's like the meta fallacy where just because a person came to the right conclusion doesn't mean they came to the right conclusion for the right reasons.
And yet these special forces were able to get in. Crucially, he says he does not believe, he doesn't know, he said on this interview, but he thinks no Americans were killed. He thinks one of the American helicopters might have been hit. He thinks there might be some injuries. He says, I have to say, a couple of guys were hit, but they came back and they're supposed to be in pretty good shape. So it does appear that there might have been some American casualties in this raid, but this is just these early stages where we're still needing so much more information about what happened here. But this does seem like an incredibly complex operation that did perhaps result in some American casualties.
And difficult to get information because U.S. reporters are not...
Wait, it did hold on. He just said no Americans were killed, and then he just said maybe some Americans were killed. I don't... Okay, so is Maduro's palace or whatever, like, he has all these, I don't know, military, like, protecting it? Like, what's the deal? Because I did read...
Because Caracas, their capital, is, like, there's lots of crime. The murder rates are really, really high. And there's lots of competing militias and cartels. So it wouldn't doubt me if he's got quite a litany of armed guards.
Okay.
Reaction been... Like, because you look at the streets and we've seen those images.
Nah, just shut up says Americans are still not awake clearly. Are you from America?
Are you American?
Nah, shut up.
Lots of Venezuelans appear to be celebrating.
So, and it really depends on.
And I guess they're referring to, I said, yes, Claudia is a Zionist Jew. She's Jewish. Is she Zionist?
What side you're on here? They're going to.
Is she pro-Israel? Because, like, if I'm going to call somebody a Zionist in this day and age, usually it's because they like to support what Israel is doing, and they don't support a two-party solution. So, is she against a two-party solution?
In the capital, many of whom are on the Maduro payroll or have been in one way or another, or just are true believers who will come out and be very pro-Maduro and want to.
Well, if that's true, I don't agree with that.
And support the government, but I think it's fair to say that that is a minority in the country.
And I got to look into Scheinbaum more.
Itself, you've got the vast majority of people who are not pro-regime. Absolutely not. They might be a bit nervous about what's going to happen next. So that's the people in Venezuela. And then outside of Venezuela, we actually have some sound that we can play here with people in the diaspora, people who have left. We know millions of Venezuelans have left in recent years, many because of political persecution.
Oh, so yeah, a fifth of their population fled from Venezuela.
Yeah, because it's been so horrible.
Yeah, mass exodus.
They will be among the happiest. Let's hear what some have to say.
What is, you said 20%? How many people is that? Do you know?
It's millions.
Yeah, that's what, okay. Wanted to make sure it's millions. Today is the day. Okay, so he's really happy. Wait, pause it. Oh, okay. There, sorry, I thought it was lagging again. Because I was interested in this, like, the only people, like, they're very happy about this, but also scared.
Yeah, but I think they have a population of, like, 35 million, so I think it was, like, 6-7 million people fled.
But the question here, Gio, remains, they can be happy and no question about it, but what happens next?
Pause it. The current population is 28 million as of January. So it must have been like, what, 35 or something? 36 million?
Well, I'm saying, I think, yeah, but I think like around 6-7 million people fled.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what you've heard so far is Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president, the number 2 in the country. She's come out and said she's not declaring herself interim president, at least not yet. She says Maduro is still the legitimate president there. But it does appear that the majority of his inner circle, senior officials, are still in place for the moment. So it does appear that they're still running.
A Zionist has never simply been a person who believes in a Jewish homeland. It's a colonial ideology. Yeah, we'll get to Israel later. We're talking about Venezuela currently. We'll get to Israel's genocide in a bit.
The country, but President Trump was asked about that on Fox. He came out and said, well, we're looking at that. He appeared to say that he doesn't want this government to continue, but what he's willing to do to get those people out, to somehow change this to some sort of democratic free and fair elections. We're very far away from figuring out all that.
So last week, or I guess a couple weeks ago, we covered him. He did that weird stance. It looked like he was like trying to gas some stuff out. And then when he was staying for the lectern, Hexeth and Rubio, they had the most like disgusted like expressions, like, ooh, like they were whacking in some kind of odor.
Just hours away from what unquestionably was one of the most stunning U.S. military operations in recent history.
So this guy has some eyebrows. Look at those eyebrows. It's Maduro.
New information about the latest military operation in Venezuela. Maduro and his wife are now facing charges related to drug trafficking in America. The president also says the U.S. will...
Drug trafficking. I think, don't know about his wife, but Maduro, I think there's other things that he needs to be charged with that are far more extreme than trafficking. But I guess it's not American citizens that he was torturing. So, I don't know. Like, I think maybe it would be more ethical and appropriate if he stood trial in Venezuela, because I think his crimes have been, or it's the people in Venezuela that have been more victim of his crimes than, I guess, Americans who've done fentanyl.
From the country for now.
Well, wait, pause. Okay, but it's not, it's seeming like it's not about the drugs anymore. Now, that's what, like, because when I was looking at, like, the history, it's like, oh, it's about the drugs. We're like, targeting the drug boats, and then the largest, what?
That's pretty much what it is. They have the largest stockpile of oil. They're relatively close to the United States. That's just what they want.
Well,
somebody in the chat says they're talking about sanctions, how it just makes a country poor. Yeah. So I agree with that. And it does add to even more instability. And that's one of the problems, is that when they enforce sanctions on Venezuela, what happens is the rich people just kind of like covet their wealth even more. And then they sort of hog the resources from the masses, and they just let the masses starve out. So it usually just makes things worse. Oh, did you have something to say?
Well, because, at first it was like people were accusing Trump of he just wants Venezuela for the oil. And I was like, okay, well, I guess let's see, because he sure is acting like it's about drugs. And then now it's like, I don't know, has he even mentioned anything about drugs since he's gotten Maduro? Because all he's been talking about is oil and building up their
Greenland.
The oil infrastructure over there. And
we got to protect the Americans from the fentanyl.
But has he said anything about that? That's what I'm wondering. Since he's caught Maduro, it's just been, we're going to rebuild Venezuela. Yeah. So it was never about the drugs then. So here, I was going to I don't know, I have this as a note, but I'll just say it now that I did, or I guess, okay, sorry, I'm 5 thoughts in my head at once. It's showing.
You need Adderall.
No.
Oh, but go ahead.
I wonder if we look at the future, I guess, I want to know, was it worth it for these people in the drug boats to die if anything good is going to happen, if it was all worth it,
People argue that those drug boats not making it to the shore saved lives from people potentially overdosing on fentanyl. I don't know how legit those claims are.
Right, yeah.
But I still think that if they knew where the drug boats were, why did they have to blow them up? They could have just detained people and seized the actual boats. It makes no sense why they had to kill the people on board. I don't think somebody deserves the death penalty for drug smuggling.
Well, yeah, it's just looking at it. I don't know. I guess it's I just want to look at the whole picture now that he's captured Maduro. And then, I'm sure I'll want to revisit this, but that's one of my things is if something good happens out of all this, was it worth it for the people in the drug boats to die? And I know that it should have been handled differently, but haven't you talked about that? How it's well, you kill a few people so that you can save, I don't know, $1 billion or something like that. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore.
Yeah.
If you think about it, let me know.
U.S. soil Saturday evening, where they will face federal charges in New York related to drug trafficking and narco-terrorism. President Trump shared this picture after Maduro was captured by an elite military team overnight in what the administration is calling Operation Absolute Resolve.
Overwhelming American military.
What was it called? Absolute Result? Or Absolute Resolve? That is a terrible name for an operation.
Charges in New York related to drug trafficking and narco-terrorism.
That's what he called it.
After Maduro was captured by an elite military team overnight in what the administration is calling Operation Absolute Resolve.
Absolute Resolve.
Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea was used to launch a spectacular assault.
The president detailed the military action from Mar-a-Lago Saturday afternoon, hours after the overnight strike on Venezuela. The operation targeted military facilities and involved more than 150 U.S. aircraft and follows months of military buildup in the Caribbean. President Trump also says the U.S. will run...
Okay, we'll pause. I also don't see how, is this even fueling his narcissism in any way? Because, so far he hasn't bragged about, saving all the people of Venezuela. Or is it just oh, look at all this money I made for the U.S. because I got the oil from Venezuela?
Happened. And I have no doubt you could find him claiming that, this is, or he's already bragged about this being the best, military operation ever executed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Transition can occur.
So it's about the U.S.
work.
Well, you know, they always say boots on the ground. Also,
somebody says it was about drugs. USA would have invaded Mexico. Yeah, I think that this is just about oil again. I think that him claiming that he's doing it for the people is bullshit, but I don't know if we would have invaded Mexico even if it was about drugs. Because I don't know, as poor as a lot of Americans might think Mexico is, it's a fairly developed country compared to like the world stage as a whole. So if the United States went to war with Mexico, definitely, I don't know, would cause a lot of fucking problems.
But supposedly we're not at war with Venezuela. Why would you say that?
Well, I mean, if this is where it stops, if they went in, arrested Maduro, and if it was just a in and out operation, then I would say it would make sense not to call it war.
Well,
but
because this is another thing that I was thinking is like, would Venezuela attack the U.S.?
They're attacking us through subterfuge by smuggling the drugs into the country.
Oh.
That's the logic they'll use.
Okay.
Which, if that's the case, it's just when it comes to the illegal drug trade, it's this very complex network of like criminal, like black market criminal enterprises all across the Americas, including the United States. So there's criminals inside the United States who are like white men born in the United States that also contribute to this black market. So it's not something that you can just attribute to one or two countries.
Regime will remain in place.
And when it comes to cocaine, America, like, we are the number one country in terms of like purchasing the product. So most of the demand comes from the United States. So even though a lot of it is being supplied from other countries, it's making its way to the United States because, well, we're the ones actually spending money on the black market for it. So people can't just blame other countries to the south for like all the drug problems that we have.
Well, we know who they are. We're on them. And they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago.
The Trump administration is defending its decision not to notify Congress ahead of the strike, but Democratic lawmakers are blasting the move and questioning what comes next.
And I've discussed this before. If they just made cocaine legal and just decriminalized drugs,
you'd love that.
Well, it would eliminate most of these problems. I mean, they'd be able to tax it, it would help the economy, and it would deal a heavy blow to the cartels.
Maduro is illegitimate. A lot of leaders are illegitimate in the world, thinking you can simply reach in like we're playing some game of Risk and remove them and then wash your hands of it and everything's fine. But we've learned that that's just not the way it plays out most of the time.
Venezuela's vice president...
Wait, okay, pause. Did they said that they're defending not telling Congress about it, but it's because, I don't know if they said this, but because Trump said that if they told Congress, then they wouldn't be able to follow through with getting Maduro.
Oh. Yeah, and it is illegal because any sort of foreign military operation, it is supposed to be approved by Congress.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's been breaking international law for a while now.
Tariffs are illegal because when it comes to international treaties, international policies, Congress is supposed to approve.
A violation. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, West Palm Beach.
Good evening. Great to be with you tonight. 2 days earlier than expected with that major breaking news that could shape the year, maybe even the century. After months of buildup at 2:01 a.m. local time today.
Somebody says kid just makes up bullshit. I'm 30 years old. So, but has probably never been to Venezuela and will never understand how big this is for the people. Guy was taking Americans hostage for deals under Biden. I don't support anything Maduro did, and I mentioned that this could be a positive for the people. The one thing I'm arguing is I don't think Trump's doing it for altruistic reasons. And just because good might come from it, that doesn't necessarily mean that Trump used the same logic to come to this conclusion.
Okay, wait. Okay, he said, we called members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. He said, it's just not the kind of mission you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission. Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not have been good. That's what Trump said.
Well, I don't think it's up to him to make that decision. I think it's up to Congress to make that decision.
Delta forces slipped into the home of dictator Nicolas Maduro. By 3:30 a.m., he and his wife were in American custody. They landed at an airport.
I still want to know, what the fuck has his wife done?
New York City just a few hours ago.
I haven't read anything about that.
We're going to have a live report from there in just a moment. But first, more on the raid, a mission that President Trump today compared to nothing.
Gene, do you even speak Spanish? Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Charlie D'Agata is in West Palm Beach Forest Fire.
What is it? Yo hablo español?
Good evening to you, Tony.
Did you take Spanish in high school?
Yeah.
The Venezuelan dictator's wife now face charges here in the United States after this stunning operation that deposed a head of state and now leaves the U.S. in charge of a country with no clear leadership or no clear plan forward. Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores touched down in New York.
Watch Trump try to turn it into a colony. That would be hilarious.
This evening after an audacious snatch and grab operation
Snatch and grab.
in the early hours of Saturday morning.
¿Dónde estás? Muy bien.
Special forces units known as the Night Stalkers.
He's saying where is very good. Okay, sorry. Just
lit up the sky, signaling that Operation Absolute Resolve was underway.
Absolute Resolve. I mean, he couldn't ask AI to come up with a more creative name.
It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
President Trump and his team watched the mission unfold from his
Look at that guy's face.
Look at his grump face.
Elite Delta Force dropped in and breached Maduro's compound just after 2 a.m. local time.
He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is? All steel. And he...
Do you know what a safe place is?
It's what the blue-haired people like. The blue-haired fat women of the internet like.
Wasn't able to make it to the door.
Well, did somebody say that in the chat?
No, I said that.
Oh, yeah. I will agree with that. I don't know. The pink and blue hair dye, it does stuff to people.
Officials tell CBS
It gets in the
CIA source inside the Maduro government had tracked the dictator's movements for months.
Where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate.
Oh, I like this. This is interesting.
Within 2.5 hours of U.S. forces touching down, Maduro and his wife were at sea. The president posting this image of a handcuffed and blindfolded Maduro aboard the USS Iwo Jima. One of the U.S. helicopters was hit, and some U.S. soldiers were injured in the raid.
On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit.
Look at Trump. Is he sleeping standing up?
Oh, yeah, that's what it looks like.
Fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit.
At least 5.
So they said self-defense. They were the ones attacking.
Targets were hit, including military bases and the country's main port.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
The president said today the U.S. will take over Venezuela. Without explaining how.
So, do you think they will install a new government within the next month, 6 months, 6 years?
I mean, Trump moves fast, so a few months.
That's going to work, how long it could last, or whether U.S. troops would be needed to do it. He also said the U.S. will take over the country's oil reserves.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in.
Biggest than any in the world. Bigger than
spend
anybody.
Billions of dollars, fix the badly broken
The biggest.
the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Oh, for Venezuela. Okay, so he's claiming he's making money for Venezuela.
Yeah, isn't he an altruistic president? He's more altruistic than anybody.
He's
state.
Making Venezuela great again.
President, now interim President Delcy Rodriguez, will cooperate.
Watch him. He needs to start selling T-shirts and hats. Make Venezuela great again. Distribute them across the country. And you know how they'll have planes fly over with pamphlets? He needs to just start having planes fly over, dropping all the hats.
But today she denounced the U.S. operation and insisted Maduro is still the head of state.
He's doing a Nazi salute.
Well, he is a Nazi, right?
This was months in the making.
Who isn't a Nazi?
Those actually built a replica of the Maduro compound in order to rehearse, and around 150 aircraft were involved.
Charlie, let's get back to
next vid.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome to CNN. I'm Victor Blackwell in Atlanta. The breaking news this morning, President Trump says the U.S. carried out large-scale strikes on Venezuela overnight. He says its president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, have been captured and flown out of the country. Attorney General Pam Bondi says both of them have been indicted and in a...
Sounded like he said cancered.
President Trump says the U.S. carried out large-scale strikes on Venezuela overnight. He says its president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, have been captured and flown out of the country.
Oh, so he did say captured.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says both of them have been indicted and in a social media post says that they will, quote, soon face the full wrath of American justice. The Venezuelan vice president says he is...
Oh, no. Do you think they'll waterboard him? He's waterboarded people. So maybe they'll send him to Guantanamo Bay. I mean, he's a narco-terrorist.
No idea where Maduro and the First Lady are.
Faced with this brutal situation and this brutal attack, we do not know
Somebody says she's way worse than he is. Are they talking about being worse than Maduro? Or are they talking about...
Delcy.
Are they talking about Delcy or his wife?
To President Nicolas Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores. We demand immediate
Celia.
from the government of President
Let me
proof of life for President Maduro.
let me see what Celia's been doing.
Trump says that he'll address the nation on the strikes from Mar-a-Lago later this morning. Right now, it's quiet in the capital of Caracas, just hours after the strikes, but earlier...
Wait, does she not have the same last name as him? What a slut.
I don't know.
Knocked out power and sent people running outside. And this strike was at La Carlota Air Base in Caracas. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh joins me now from London. Nick, we just heard from Issa Suarez speaking with some of her sources in country.
Oh, is this lagging again? Fuck.
General Pam Bondi lagging again?
Yeah, it might have been my fault. It must be my shitty computer. Okay, I'll Google it on my phone because I am trying to...
91 people watching currently.
Oh, I'm trying to find out what Celia, what she's done. So, or what role, because it's like, well, it seems like right now she's just the wife. Like, what has she done? Oh, is that her?
Yeah, she's guilty by association.
Announced a short time ago, Maduro and his wife have been indicted in federal court on charges including narco-terrorism. There will be more details this morning at a news conference at Mar-a-Lago. We've got Natalie Brand traveling with the president in Florida with the latest. Natalie, good morning.
Good morning, Michael and Adriana. U.S. officials tell CBS News that Maduro was captured by the U.S. military's elite Delta Force. President Trump on social media early this morning confirmed what he called a large-scale and successful strike. Videos posted to social media show the scenes from Venezuela as explosions were reported at 2 a.m. local time in the capital of Caracas. U.S. officials tell CBS News President Trump ordered strikes on sites inside the country early Saturday morning, including military facilities. In a statement, the Venezuelan government said it, quote,
Bridget, she says she loves seeing your face.
Announces to the international community very serious military aggression by the U.S. government. Ahead of the strike.
Oh, thank you.
Told State TV he's open to talking to the U.S. on drug trafficking, oil, and migration issues.
Oh, his wife and top... I wish you could just, like, read my mind and know when I want you to pause, and then you just pause. It would make things a lot more convenient.
Okay, it's paused. Go ahead, read.
Okay, so it just says it's his advisor. So does that mean, like, his...
I guess she did the paperwork.
Receptionist, basically? Yeah. Glorified receptionist?
I guess she was involved in the planning. I don't know, do they have any hard evidence to prove that? Or is she just, like, living in the same estate?
I'm still reading it.
Aligned with drug cartels and gangs designated by the U.S. as terrorist organizations. The Trump administration has spent months ramping up pressure on the Maduro regime. Last month, President Trump ordered a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela. A massive military buildup of 15,000 American troops in the Caribbean includes 11 Navy ships led by the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier. Marines aboard the USS Iwo have been conducting live-fire exercises, and stealth fighter jets have been deployed to Puerto Rico. On Monday, President Trump...
Okay, pause. So... all I'm finding, okay, in the official jargon of the socialist movement known as Chavismo, she is referred to as first combatant. She has been Maduro's partner for more than 30 years, during which time she built her own political capital and was considered one of the most powerful women in Venezuela.
Okay. Sounds like they do have something to convict her with.
Like inside Venezuela, saying an alleged drug-related site was targeted.
They load the boats up with drugs, so we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area.
But he did not confirm reports that the CIA carried out that strike.
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was.
Oh, wait. She provided assistance to Hugo Chavez. Okay, go on.
I was going to say, look at how he's standing here.
Did not confirm reports that the CIA carried out that
How?
Well, he just looked really stiff.
Confirmed the first known U.S. strike inside Venezuela,
Wait.
saying an alleged drug-related site was targeted.
They load the boats up with drugs, so we hit all the boats. And
Oh, he's doing
He did not confirm reports that the CIA carried out that strike.
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was.
This week, there were also more deadly strikes on alleged drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. That brought the total to more than 30 strikes on vessels, killing at least one.
You know the show like Love Boat?
No.
They make a show called Drug Boat.
115.
I need
For
to
weeks,
produce
Democratic lawmakers and even some Republicans have questioned the strategy.
It's a completely made up and false sense that we're at war, we can do whatever we want. But if Congress wants to vote on it, no, we're not at war.
And lawmakers on Capitol Hill, even allies.
Now, that is something that it's just because America wants to be the world police and we spend more money on our military than the next like 7 or 9 countries combined. We're always involved in these operations that are just constantly ongoing, deploying troops to try to like secure some like waterway that like some militia or pirates are like causing chaos in. And the issue is if you want to respond to things very promptly, you can't really go through the bureaucratic process of getting Congress to approve. But then the issue there is is it ethical for the United States to be acting as some kind of global police force? Because like not only does it go against how things are supposed to work legally within the United States, it's also going against a lot of international laws.
Well, yeah, that was my question as far as like, if this benefits the people, then is what Trump did ethical? That was another question, I guess.
The president have said they want more information from
But then the other issue here is it opens up a can of worms where China might be like, hey, we find that we need or I guess Russia, like they were making that argument with all the eastern like Ukrainian provinces that it's like, hey, the people there, they feel neglected and they want to be part of Russia, not Ukraine. So it gives like other foreign leaders that are like engaging in land grabs an excuse. They can be like, well, hey, America, they're just sending troops in and they're like occupying other countries. So why can't we?
About what comes next and the end game. Senator Mike Lee of Utah knew this morning on social media, posted that he had a conversation with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who told him Maduro was arrested to stand trial on criminal charges in the United States and that the military action was deployed to protect and defend those executing the arrest warrant overnight. We are expecting to hear many more details from the president himself. A news conference is scheduled for 11 a.m. Eastern.
It is funny how ignorant both of you are about the 80 Ishin or whatever. I bet neither of y'all has been to Venezuela or a communist country and lived there 1 month as a regular resident. We're acknowledging that Maduro's regime wasn't a good thing, and it's kind of like ironically a good thing that he's been removed. So we haven't been supporting the dude at all.
Well, and my stance is like, I am confused about this because like, if the people in Venezuela are happy, if they're going to benefit, then it's like, well, maybe Trump did some good. And like, I'm not a Trump supporter, so I'm kind of like on the fence. I haven't even talked to Gene about that.
Well, we're ignorant, but yet we haven't said a single nice thing about Maduro. Are these people just like bots?
They're bots that you bought.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're talking about like, we're going into nuance here where again, just because somebody does something, it doesn't mean they're doing it for the right reasons. And there's a cost benefit analysis. So like with anything that's really complicated, when you're talking about geopolitical issues, there's always going to be positives and negatives.
Be keeping tabs on that. Natalie in West Palm Beach, thank you. Well, here's a closer look at Nicolas Maduro. Venezuela's leader has been in power since 2013. Now, the U.S. does not formally recognize Maduro as the head of state and hasn't for years. Maduro was charged with narco-terrorism and corruption back in 2020, and there was a reward for $50 million for his arrest. Now, the State Department warned U.S. citizens in Venezuela to shelter in place this morning, and the U.S. Embassy in Colombia is warning Americans not to travel to Venezuela. For more, let's go to Lilia Luciano, who joins us from the Dominican Republic. Lilia.
I don't know. Do you think we should travel to Venezuela? Just be oppositional? Everyone in the chat saying we haven't traveled to
Oh,
Venezuela.
well, okay, then yeah, let's go to Venezuela.
I love that argument. It's like, have you been to that country? So you can't have any knowledge surrounding some foreign country unless you visit it. So do these people just decide not to have any opinions about the rest of the world?
Yeah, all the articles, all the articles that I've read don't mean anything. I have been to Chile, though.
Okay, so you're allowed to have opinions about that country. So once you step foot in another country, all of that country's history, every fact associated with it, is just magically uploaded to your brain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning to you, Michael.
Okay, so this is the same video.
48 hours into 20.
Yeah.
Gee, what is this repetition?
Oh no, I'm all OCD. I have issues pruning the playlist. It's no, maybe they say one thing that the other videos didn't say.
Oh, okay. Well, to be fair, I do that with the articles that I read, especially because I'm interested in this. I read, PPP meetup in Caracas. That's funny. Bill Hicks. Okay, I went to Chile, so it's Easter Island. Who the fuck goes to Easter Island? People who want to see the Maui statues. Yeah. But I went to Santiago and then Easter Island, because if you're going that far, an 18 to 24 hour flight, you might as well go to both. So, that's who the fuck goes to Chile. But Santiago is just congested city. I imagine what New York City is like.
I think a lot of people in the chat are preaching to the fucking choir. We're aware that the people in Venezuela were miserable under Maduro's regime.
You two are clueless.
Okay. Then I guess you're clueless, because if your argument is it's a good thing that Maduro ousted, then we agree with that. So maybe you're just not processing what we're saying.
Operation striking Venezuela and capturing its president, Nicolas Maduro, most Americans said they oppose military action in that country. CBS News asked people about this back in November, and at the time, 70% of people polled said they would be against military action in Venezuela, while 30% were in favor of it. Now, across party lines, big majorities had said that the Trump administration needed to explain what the U.S.'s intentions were regarding those actions, and felt officials had not done so clearly. When asked if they thought Venezuela was a threat to U.S. security, only 13% of people polled said the country was a major threat, 48%.
Now, here's the thing. This is a good example where I do think that regardless of what their reasons were, their motives, it is a good thing that Maduro is no longer in power. But I don't think they were doing it for the greater good of American citizens. I don't think it was because of drugs. I think the U.S. government was doing it for more self-serving reasons. They're doing it so they could control the oil supply line throughout the Americas. That's what it's about. So a person can do good for more Machiavellian reasons.
Okay, hold on. So that person said the Venezuelans in USA are cheering, and I think I read in Miami, but I thought I saw them in Venezuela. They're cheering too. So I don't know. Maybe you have a video that says that. Or shows.
39% said.
Well, I have videos of people rioting over it and videos of people cheering over it.
Wasn't a threat at all. And when asked if American action in Venezuela would have an impact on the amount of drugs coming into the country, most polled said it would not change anything. Leaders around the world are reacting to the U.S. military operation in Venezuela with a mix of support.
Yeah, a lot of these people gotta be bots, because they're not even responding to what we're saying.
And condemnation. Here to break down those reactions is CBS News producer Lee Canary. Lee, good to see you.
Yeah, next vid.
A spokesperson for the Southern District of New York says that Maduro and his wife are expected to appear in a New York courtroom around noon on Monday, now that they are in U.S. custody.
On Monday, that's tomorrow.
More questions than answers about what comes next and who will eventually take over. Nicolas Maduro and his wife remain at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center Sunday ahead of their expected arraignment Monday on drug trafficking and narco-terrorism-related charges. New satellite images show damage in Caracas, Venezuela. Following
just imagine living in some lavish palace and having control of an entire country's GDP, and then being confined to some U.S. prison.
Military operation overnight Saturday
would suck.
In a televised.
It's one thing if like you're some criminal living in poverty and then you're like swapped into prison. But
Yeah, that's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Statement, Venezuela's defense minister said a large part of Maduro's security team was killed in the raid, with the country's vice president sworn in as the interim leader.
Wait, a large part of his security team that like the fucking his house guards were killed?
Yeah.
Is that what they just said? Oh, okay.
Judge everything by what they do.
I want to see a video of that, and I don't think there's any video of that, right?
Venezuela's Secretary of State.
God, they need to have like the Marines to troops wear body cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
Make it public. See, we didn't have video of like them their confrontation with Osama bin Laden. If they had like special forces wearing body cameras, the whole world would get to watch it.
For many more details of how exactly that will work.
So just to be clear, there is no plan for U.S. occupation of this country of nearly 30 million people.
Well, I think, first of all, the president always retains optionality on anything and on all these matters. He certainly has the ability and the right under the Constitution of the United States to act against imminent and urgent threats against the country.
No, he doesn't.
Administration also says it will be focused.
Okay, are you a lawyer? Do you know what the fuck you're talking about?
Oh, right. The same way you can't have any knowledge associated with the country unless you step foot on it. Can't know anything about law unless you're a lawyer.
Democrats accuse the administration of prioritizing that over stability and keeping lawmakers in the dark.
Let's let my Republican colleagues enjoy their day of euphoria, but they're going to wake up tomorrow morning knowing, my God, there is no plan here any more than there was in Afghanistan, Iraq, or in Libya.
In Venezuela, there are reports
I guess what Rubio said is technically correct. I don't think it does violate the Constitution at all, but it is illegal. So the thing is, executive actions, they're not supposed to go against any laws passed in Congress. So if an executive order conflicts with any laws, then it's an illegal executive order.
Tense calm over the country, with people lining up outside of stores this weekend to stock up on supplies amid the uncertainty. U.S. lawmakers on Capitol Hill, both Democrats and Republicans, have made clear they want more information from the administration on next steps. Members say they are expecting more briefings next week. In West Palm Beach, I'm Natalie Brand, CBS News.
Thanks, Ed.
Our continuing coverage of Venezuela's future and how much the U.S. will be involved are very much in question. It follows this weekend's capture of President Nicolas Maduro. Good evening, I'm Ebony Coleman. President Trump claims it was an illegal operation, while Congress says it wasn't approved.
This one might be more entertaining. So,
the fuck is this?
About this. He has a cartoon of himself.
Oh.
So he might be the only leader who's more narcissistic than Trump.
Well, they should be friends then.
Is modeled after the country's president, Nicolás Maduro.
Nicolás Maduro.
Peace and unity.
And Venezuelan people. Amid escalating tension with the U.S., Maduro suggested on Monday night that he would be open to dialogue after Donald Trump said the same.
Así que este país está en paz. Este país va a continuar en paz. Y en Estados
He
Unidos,
knew they were coming for him.
el que quiera hablar con Venezuela, se hablará.
So he doesn't know any English?
Pay to pay.
No.
How American of me to even think that.
More people speak Spanish globally than English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I believe it's Mandarin, Spanish, and then English.
Well, it's just like I saw Netanyahu speaking English and I was a little surprised because after going to Chile and realizing that I and probably many other Americans just assume that everybody speaks English, now I just kind of assume everybody speaks the language of their country.
We need those fish, like in a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. In the book, they'd have these like fish that they would put in somebody's ear, and then it would eat like the I guess language that the person was hearing and like poop out some energy. So people were able to just like understand any language. So it's like some kind of universal translator. Or Farscape. They have these microbes they'd inject in their blood where they can just understand any other language. So we need that.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has been unambiguous that Venezuela and the commercial opportunity it represents for American companies were a primary reason for the removal of President Maduro.
No, it was drugs. That was the reason. That's what Trump and his administration said, so therefore it's true.
Largest oil reserves on Earth, an estimated 300 billion barrels lying on top.
So if Saudi Arabia wanted to have the same quantity of oil as them, they would have to have the same amount of oil that the United States has. And the United States is up there. They're like one of the top 10, top 20 countries in terms of their oil reserves.
It's about 17% of global reserves, and it's more than Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and more than 3 times the reserves in the United States. Now, the bulk of it lies in the central Orinoco Belt, south of the Orinoco River, in oil fields that cover around 50,000 square kilometers. And it's not just how much oil is here, but the type that matters. It is extra.
Wait, Pinky says everything else is too quiet. Am I too quiet?
Heavy crude oil. It's used for making diesel, asphalt, and as a raw material in petrochemicals. Because it's highly viscous, thick, and sticky, it's more complex to extract, and it requires refinement.
Okay, there. I'm adjusting it. Hold on, one more. Fuck, I want to get that right at 6. Okay, Gene, say something.
Say something.
Oh, is he still? Okay, he's going all the way up, and I'm going a little bit down more.
Say something. I'm giving up on you.
I'm giving up on you. Okay, it says it's about equal. Fuck, I can't get the fucking audio figured out. And
Herbie says they can't hear me. We can't hear you, Gene. Are they trolling?
Can't hear. Okay, wait.
Are they trolling me?
Okay, I can hear you on stream.
Okay. So Furby's trolling.
It's heavy crude. It does.
But I do believe. Okay, but Pinky, who's Furby? Are they a mod?
No.
Okay, then don't trust them.
Zyklon Furby.
Required to deal with it. Now, despite these massive reserves, Venezuelan production is relatively puny, and it's been in decline. In the 60s and 70s, when American oil companies controlled the industry, it produced more than 3.5 million barrels a day. That's around 7% of global output. But following the election of Hugo Chavez, the industry was nationalized.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to know. So what, it was 3 million barrels a day way back when they were rich, and now it's like barely anything?
And then the sanctions kicked in. And the thing is, people trying to, I guess, glorify Trump for what he's doing here, which I guess Trump's not the president that's enforced sanctions, but the United States has been like enforcing sanctions on Venezuela for quite a while. So that's probably one of the reasons why things really went to shit, or at least they didn't make things any better.
And then why did they put sanctions in the first place?
Because they didn't pander to America, and they were more supportive of Russia, China, and Iran.
And further under President Maduro, particularly after the imposition of sanctions in 2019. And today, Venezuela produces less than 1 million barrels a day. Now, given there are sanctions in place, it's worth asking where those barrels of oil end up. And this chart shows us these are exports from Venezuela in the last year, and the bulk goes to China, much of it under exemption to repay historic loans. But the balance goes to the United States, which has granted Chevron a license to operate in Venezuela despite the sanctions. Now, Donald Trump says US oil companies...
So it's America pushing the sanctions, but yet we're like one of the only countries that's actually breaking the sanction policies or going against the sanction policies.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Billion.
Well, hey, the world needs us to police it. So all of our like naval vessels, aircrafts, I mean, the U.S. Navy is the second largest air force. We need all the fuel. How else are we going to police the world? The world needs some white superpower to keep it in check.
We didn't get to where we are by being ethical. Come on.
What country is ethical?
The decline in Venezuelan production.
North Korea.
Overnight. These pictures shot by Sky News in 2019 tell us why. Venezuela's oil infrastructure has...
Bill just called you a Southerner. You're a Southerner.
I'm not from the South. Maryland fought for the Union, not the Confederacy. We saw the polls that 60% of Americans don't identify as Southern. That most Americans view, or most Marylanders view Maryland as a northern state. I ain't no hick.
Declined through
I ain't no hick like Bill Hicks.
Bill, you should hear him start saying ain't. I think it's like it was just me and you talking and you're saying ain't. And I'm like, stop.
No, I'm doing it facetiously.
Consultants Wood Mackenzie estimate that every additional 500,000 barrels of output from these fields will require $15 to $20 billion of investment to return them to production. Now, for a sense of how long it might take to increase that production, we can look to a previous episode of US adventurism, the removal of Saddam Hussein from Iraq. This chart shows
what China does, where China promises to build infrastructure, but it's kind of like some kind of extortion thing, where like what the country gets out of it doesn't like surpass how much like China takes. So that's probably what America should do. Like, we should be like, hey, we're going to build all these like oil towers, oil rigs for you, but then we just steal all the oil.
Iran and the first Gulf War
Radar
into
good.
production. But after the US-led invasion in 2003, production has tripled, but it's taken 20 years and, of course, come at an enormous cost to regional stability. The more immediate question is what impact regime change in Venezuela will have on the oil price when markets reopen, particularly given the uncertainty over who is really in charge in Caracas. Now, the US seizure of Venezuelan tankers before Christmas had a limited impact on the oil price. In fact, you can see it's down more than 20% in the last year as global economies have slowed, demand has decreased, and there's actually oversupply. It may be that the prospect of a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine will have far more impact on the oil price than the promise of more Venezuelan crude in decades to come. And whatever happens...
Well, we need all the oil because we can't have like wind farms because Trump cares about all the birds dying. Oh, somebody says they seem to be Canadian to me. Yeah, I prefer to be associated with Canada or to be believed to reside in Canada as opposed to the South.
Don't be such an America hater, a U.S. hater.
I'm liberal. I'm supposed to hate America.
My cat's fucking walking over here. I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her.
Oh my God. Look. My God. Well, I think it's not that bad because, again, look at Gaza.
Yeah, I was about to
Nothing but a
say,
parking lot.
here is the baby.
Next vid.
She's very happy to be here.
Okay, so Trump's like grump face kind of reminds me of your cat, and their grump face when you're holding them.
Her. Don't misgender my pussy. My cat.
I said holding them, like
holding
like
them.
EM. Yeah.
My boo boo.
Damn. So Trump is a billionaire, so do you think maybe he should invest some of his net worth in rebuilding their houses? He definitely
Yes.
could. I mean, that's what I would do for publicity if I was Trump. I mean, now, like I said that as a joke, but I don't know why he wouldn't do that. Like, just build every single person who lost their home here, like some lavish house. It would be like nothing for Trump. And then he would get so much like positive like press over it.
And then, okay, the exchange, it's like $1 to 1 million something Venezuelan, is it pesos?
Yeah, they probably have pesos.
He donates his presidential salary, Gene.
Oh yeah, salary of like 400K, which is like nothing when you're a billionaire.
She's still here. Okay, so this is
that was their first.
This is in Venezuela? Fuck, this cat hair.
I believe that was their first ever. Were they a president? But I know that was their first leader when they gained independence from Spain.
Wait, what video are we watching?
Oh, you don't see it?
Oh, Venezuelans. Okay. Well, I have the chat like over there where.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody says they take donations. You got to donate to us. We're going to Miami in like a couple weeks, so we need money. And then once we visit Miami, well, I've gone to Miami before, but then we can actually talk about it and actually have knowledge of Miami. If you watch like a documentary about Miami, like you can't really say that you know anything about it. You can't even know that it's in Florida. You can't know that it's in Florida until you actually visit it in Florida. Then you can actually know that Florida exists. You can't know that the Earth is really like not like flat until you fly up into space. So you can't know 100% that the reptilians aren't lying to you.
Oh my God, flat earthers are the best.
Did you hear about my one kind of like Superman's going to be in the public domain? in like several years. So I want to make a Superman like series that's flat earther Superman. He's just in denial. Okay, next vid.
More than a month before the U.S. operation striking Venezuela and capturing its president Nicolas Maduro, most Americans said they oppose military action in that country. CBS News asked people.
They live in Fort
Lauderdale. That's Miami, basically.
Oh.
About this back in November, and at the time, 70% of people polled said they would
PPP
be
meet
against
up on a
military
cruise. We've watched this. Like, can you fast forward it?
In
Maybe I should I got a bunch of other videos that aren't current events.
Wait. I saw, what was that? Maduro, okay, Rubio says U.S. won't govern whatever. Oh, wife facing, okay, the wife, yeah.
And his wife make their first scheduled appearance in federal court in Lower Manhattan tomorrow. Maduro and his wife are being held separately at the same notorious jail used for Ghislaine Maxwell, Sean Combs, El Chapo, and Luigi Mangione. ABC's Whit Johnson is outside the facility in Brooklyn.
I wonder if they're making friends with Ghislaine.
Venezuelan leader Nicolas.
That's like Luigi Mangione. He gets to say that he was in the same, or I'd say that's more of a bragging right for Maduro. I don't know. Luigi Mangione, I think he's a pretty cool dude.
Maduro and his wife Celia Flores are behind bars inside this notorious federal jail in Brooklyn, known for its poor conditions and high-profile inmates. The Metropolitan Detention Center, once home to drug lord El Chapo, Ghislaine Maxwell, Sean Diddy Combs, and currently...
Wait. Isn't this, like, she got transferred to another prison? That was like,
Bill would know. Let's get Bill to tell us where she is.
Tomorrow, the ousted Venezuelan president will be transported to the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan to face charges. Federal prosecutors laying out their case in this new 4-count indictment, alleging Maduro was at the forefront of a narco-terrorism conspiracy to transport thousands of tons of cocaine into the U.S.
People should read.
That was the guy from Honduras.
Yeah, I don't think that's true that he was involved in a conspiracy like that, because he's already profiting off of the net worth of the country's GDP. So I think he's already set financially. So I don't think he needs to engage in some coke sort of trafficking conspiracy.
This indictment. They should read what this man did for the last 15 years of his life against the United States, him and his wife.
Maduro allegedly sold Venezuelan diplomatic passports to individuals he knew were drug traffickers seeking to move drug proceeds using private planes under diplomatic cover. The indictment highlighting Maduro's wife, Celia Flores, as a key player in the corruption, alleging she accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. The government says the couple maintained state-sponsored gangs and ordered
maybe
kidnappings, beatings, and murders against those who owed them drug money.
Okay, so that is something that there is a lot of like evidence that they did torture lots of fucking people. Like I said, his police force. So the Saiban, I believe that's what it's called. It's known as like Venezuela's Gestapo. So they in the span of like less than 2 years, they murdered like 8,000 people, which that's like what, 2.3 9/11s, 2.66 9/11s. So again, think he's a terrible human being, but I like if they just want to capture Maduro for the oil, like they should just be like, hey, look, he's a terrible dude. He's murdering, torturing lots of people, and he can just lie about doing it for the greater good of the people.
Well, and then he didn't have to like kill all the people on the drug boats.
Yeah. I don't know. They were smuggling fentanyl. Like, he saved millions of lives. I think that's something he said. He claimed that he saved millions of lives.
Yeah. It was like 128,000 lives per person or something like that he killed.
God.
Yeah.
Or undermine their operation.
Oh, wait. Since this came up, so he pardoned foreign leader Juan Orlando Hernandez, the ex-president of Honduras, for like, he was money laundering, and he's like a famous cocaine, whatever you call it. You say what I said in fancier language.
Wait, repeat it, because I was reading the chat.
Oh my God, I can't fucking believe you.
I gotta multitask.
He pardoned the ex-president of Honduras, it's Juan Orlando Hernandez, for laundering money, and like, didn't he get cocaine into the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Honduras, out of all the countries that we're going to point to, like that that have been discussed tonight. Like that's definitely one of the biggest, like I guess, parties when it comes to producing like cocaine and then distributing it into the United States. So a lot of like the drugs that make themselves or that find themselves into America, they're not like initially from Mexico. I mean, some of it is produced in Mexico, but a large percentage of it is coming from countries south of Mexico.
Trafficking. In a final interview on state TV 2 days before his capture, he said the U.S. government knows that if they want to seriously discuss an agreement to combat drug trafficking, we're ready. But by that time, U.S. forces were already poised to seize Maduro, just waiting for the right conditions and the order from President Trump.
And the Maduros are both scheduled to make their initial court appearances in the same courtroom tomorrow. Maduro's 35-year-old son is also named in the indictment, but sources tell ABC News he's not in U.S. custody.
I heard about this.
Lindsay.
Whit Johnson for us. Thank you.
I'm in Caracas, Venezuela, where residents today slowly try to resume their routines, a day after President Nicolas Maduro was deposed and captured by the U.S.
Okay, it seems like these people are fanboys.
military. Dozens of
See,
stores.
they got all the action figures for the cartoon. What's it doing?
I'm in Caracas, Venezuela, where residents today slowly try to resume their routines, a day after President Nicolas Maduro was deposed and captured by the U.S. military.
Pardon him to get information on Maduro. Come on, you guys need to think about the long game. Oh, he was playing 4D chess.
Dozens of stores, restaurants, and churches remain closed, but some grocery stores and pharmacies opened. People dine out, and others got in line outside stores to buy food.
So why'd he pardon all the January 6 rioters?
Water. On Sunday, government officials and ruling party supporters again demanded that Maduro and his wife Celia Flores.
See, Trump needs to sponsor like a state-run cartoon that he puts on like PBS, where like Trump's a superhero.
Celia Flores be released from U.S. custody. They would arrive to New York on Saturday to face charges. Throughout the day, across the city, those in the streets looked shell-shocked. They stared at their phones or looked into the distance. Many said they saw.
So somebody says it's not pesos, it's not Mexico. Lots of countries have pesos as their currency, like the dollar, like you got the US dollar, Canadian dollars. I don't think it was too unreasonable for us to think that it was pesos.
Because in Chile, it's the Chilean peso.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe what had happened in the city the day before.
Within 15 hours of the deadly U.S. military strikes in Venezuela.
Wait, pause it. Okay, they have no biological children, but Maduro is a father figure to Flores' 3 sons from her previous marriage. He has one biological son from the first marriage to Adriana. Okay.
Calling for accountability here at home.
So he loves his son more than the 3, women, basically.
Into another prolonged 20-year war with no real end in sight.
We saw it in Iraq in 2003 with a takeover of a country that was no threat to us in the name of a resource, namely oil.
I want to show you all the people protesting here in the middle of the street on West Colfax Avenue. This group started out outside the Capitol. Now they're kind of moving down the street. You can see some of the...
Okay, I think this is fucking retarded. So even if you don't agree with Trump sending troops to like Venezuela, I don't think Maduro should be freed.
Signs say no war on Venezuela.
Many of these people protest.
Okay, so this is in Venezuela?
No, this is in the United States.
Where? Oh, sorry. Okay, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Many of these people protesting say the U.S. capture of Nicolas Maduro will lead to escalation in the region.
And while Maduro really is not a good guy, he's a terrible dictator, I don't think that Trump is going to help their people. I don't think that's his intent here.
And reactions from Venezuelans are mixed.
I agree.
Some celebrating in the streets in places like Miami.
I can't tell you how happy I am.
Venezuelans in the U.S. Okay, I really want to know what the Venezuelans in Venezuela, what they think.
Tears in my eyes. We've been waiting for this.
It seems mixed. Like I've seen, like it showed them like holding up the action figures. So some Venezuelans are happy, some aren't.
Moment since 1998.
While others, like Omelis Marchan, a Venezuelan living in Denver, say celebrating this moment is ignorant. She came to the U.S. with her family in 2023 to escape crime in Venezuela.
¿Qué vamos a celebrar? They are celebrating what exactly? The fall of people in Venezuela, the deaths that have happened?
Her father, uncles, and her husband live in Caracas. She says her family is living in a state of fear, not sure what will happen tomorrow.
I mean, if some fascist dictator is ousted, I mean, I don't see why it's too unreasonable to celebrate.
And not
Listen
sure what
to the lady.
What's that?
Listen to the lady. She used to live in Venezuela. We haven't.
That means her judgment supersedes ours.
It does.
There's a lot of people who are saying, yes, we need someone to intervene, but they don't know what an intervention is. They don't understand that what they're seeing in the poverty right now in Venezuela is only going to lead to more poverty.
Okay, yeah. She doesn't want it to get worse. Like, that's one of the other predictions. I think you said that, right? Like, or I found an article on Fox News saying...
cases when one regime is ousted, it's just replaced by another regime that's just as bad or even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened with Iraq. So it's just, are we going to see a repeat of the same events?
Country.
No more sanctions. Well, that's okay. Well, hold on. Pause it though. Do you respect her opinion?
Well,
then because she's kind of agreeing with you.
I guess.
You guess.
Well, I don't see how. It's like we got to see how things go from here, because it's not like getting rid of him equates to it getting worse.
Well, she's saying it could though. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we agree there.
Aggie Bryan, Denver 7.
I just think she has a valid point.
Okay, here they are.
Well, wait, pause. Okay, hold on, chat. Is that good enough? Like, we listened to someone that used to live in Venezuela, and I made Jean agree with her. Is that good enough for the chat? Whoever it was picking on us.
USA can't fix their own poverty. They ignore it. I don't think Trump or America is going to help here, so I have a feeling they're trying to get the vice president, who's part of that corrupt regime, to act as their president. So it seems like, I don't know, so far doesn't look good. God, see, isn't Trump a superhero? They need to go back the Maduro cartoon, and they just need to plaster like Trump's face on top of it, and then re-release all the episodes. Okay, next vid.
In Latin American cities like Santiago, hundreds of Venezuelan migrants celebrated the news of President Nicolas Maduro's demise.
Okay, so Chile's celebrating.
Hmm?
They said Santiago, which is Chile.
Oh.
We're going to have a free country, and that we will finally be able to return home to our families.
Argentina and Ecuador, staunch Trump allies, also celebrated Maduro's capture. But their euphoria isn't shared by a great many regional neighbors, especially after hearing President Donald Trump announce that the U.S. will now run Venezuela and restore its oil.
So they just said that Ecuador is a strong ally with the U.S.? Is that what they just said? Or with Venezuela?
Maybe.
Can you rewind it?
Celebrated Maduro's capture.
Venezuela has pretty much no allies besides China, Russia, and Iran.
But their euphoria isn't shared by a great many regional neighbors, especially after hearing President Donald Trump
I don't think you're
announced that the U.S.
far enough, but whatever.
will now run Venezuela and restore its oil industry for American companies.
No, Trump's restoring their oil infrastructure for the Venezuelan people because he's a hero. He's not doing it for American corporations.
From Mexico to Brazil, Bolivia, Colombia, and Chile, leaders expressed outrage.
This sets an extremely dangerous precedent for regional...
Now, one thing Maduro was trying to do was invade their neighbor, Guyana. So I wonder what the head of Guyana has to say.
Stability. Today it's Venezuela. Tomorrow it could be any other country.
And then there was Trump's boast that under his new national security strategy, American dominance
Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again.
In the Western Hemisphere.
All this smacks of a return to the
There's
distant
more of the Monroe, or what they call it, the Donroe.
Donroe.
Yeah.
past of the days when the United States used to call Latin America its backyard, and when it used to helicopter in the U.S. Marines.
That's a very diplomatic thing to say. Yeah. All those countries to the south, those are just our backyard.
Countries, for example, in Central America, when the interests of the U.S. United Fruit Company were considered to be in danger. It was thought that those days were over, but no longer. Many were shocked when Trump said that Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez had agreed to step in as president and cooperate with the White House. But an hour later, she addressed her country with characteristic defiance, surrounded by the military high command, demanding the immediate release of Maduro and his wife Celia.
Our enemy is again trying to enslave us. The Venezuelan people know very well that we will never again be a colony or slave to any empire.
How and with whom will the United States attempt to run the country with the world's largest proven oil reserves is a nagging question, especially for millions of Venezuelan migrants who...
Trump should appoint one of his kids. He should appoint his son to run Venezuela.
Waiting for years to return home. Now it seems it may be too soon. Lucia Newman, Al
I know
Jazeera.
that's what happened with Brazil, like in the Napoleonic Wars. King Pedro II. So the royals in Portugal, they fled to Brazil, and the king's son loved it so much. It's like, hey, I'll just give you the country.
Santiago.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is in custody in New York following his dramatic capture in a U.S. military operation in Caracas on Saturday. President Donald Trump says the people of Venezuela are now free of Maduro's dictatorship. Venezuela's vice president has demanded the U.S. send Maduro back, calling him the rightful president. Maduro and his wife, who was also...
I don't think he was the rightful president.
Also captured, were brought to the Stewart Air Force Base several hours ago. The couple face federal charges of narco-terrorism and cocaine importation. Maduro was taken to a detention center escorted by drug enforcement officers. Now, with Maduro in custody, President Trump says the United States will govern Venezuela for now. His announcement has divided...
Why do Dems defend Somali scammers and now Maduro? We are not fucking defending Maduro. Jesus fucking Christ. Where are they getting that from?
Divided opinions. Al Jazeera's Patty Culhane joins us from the U.S. Capitol. So, Patty, you're there. Walk us through what we've seen over the past few hours.
Well, really, I think Americans are just tuning in to find out what happened because, remember, this is the holiday period in the United States. New Year's Eve just happened.
It's got to be fucking bots. I mean, we literally showed people protesting saying free Maduro, and we're like, no. Like, I think that's stupid. And are you guys bots? Come on. Like, let's see some responses that aren't like bot responses.
People are going back to work for another day or so. And in this time frame, people tend to just tune out, which is why governments tend to do release information. We believe this raid was supposed to take place possibly a couple of days ago, but weather was a concern. There's some reports of that. So I don't think it's really...
Somebody says you're an idiot. And we don't support Netanyahu. I think Netanyahu is a fucking word. Like, we do nothing but cover the genocide that's going on in Gaza. That people don't understand fucking nuance.
Well, so, okay, since I'm a new co-host, my opinion of Israel or Netanyahu is that he needs to calm down.
Now, I do think he should spend the rest of his life in prison for what he's done. So he's definitely a criminal.
Yeah.
Really sunk in for most Americans yet, because again, many people simply don't even know that this has happened. So really, I think what's going to be critical is not just what we hear from Republican lawmakers. We've seen the leadership come out and say that they agree with this raid. The question is going to be, what does the Republican base say about this once everyone learns the news? Because don't forget, this is a president who came to office promising America first, no more foreign interventions.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about that in a second. But first, Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela.
What's that?
No foreign interventions. Okay, she said it there.
Yeah. I mean, Trump, he's going to focus on America first.
Oh, getting that oil. That's putting America first.
No,
it's not oil. It's about drugs. That's what Trump said.
That country's vast oil reserves, the largest in the world. ABC's Matt Rivers reports from Bogota, Colombia.
With President Maduro out, President Trump wants American oil companies in, saying the runway is now clear for U.S. corporations to revitalize a, quote, badly broken oil industry they once dominated. But tonight, some questioning if that plan is realistic.
The oil companies are going to go in, they're going to spend money, we're going to take back the oil.
Venezuela, a key ally
of Russia. Take back the oil. There you go.
And China sits on the largest supply of oil reserves worldwide, a supply U.S. companies tapped for decades. But after Venezuela nationalized its oil industry, output plummeted. Sanctions and decades of mismanagement meant that the country now accounts for just 1% of global production. But so far, some American oil companies like ConocoPhillips and Chevron not overtly signing on to the president's plan.
The task alone is a massive one and will be a very expensive one for any company to undertake.
U.S. oil companies say they lost billions when they were forced out by Venezuela's government, leaving behind assets and lost profits. Trump says that will change.
And that's where, like I said, it's they have like 7,000 oil towers that are just sitting there, like breaking down, and those are just like the infrastructure they have out on like sea. They got all these like fracking facilities that are just completely need to be condemned at this point. They can't even be repaired.
In the oil business, we'll be selling oil probably in much larger doses.
Now, right now, China is the largest buyer of Venezuelan oil.
President Trump now somebody's like, America first. You guys are idiots. We're mocking that. Jesus fucking Christ. Does anybody in the chat even comprehend what we're even saying? It's like we don't support fucking Netanyahu, we don't support Maduro, and we don't support Trump. Fuck all of them. They're all pieces of shit.
That instead he would rather see that oil sold within the United States or to other friendly
What about
countries.
Kim Jong-un?
Lindsay.
Oh, he's awesome. I'd have him over my place anytime. Or if he invited me to his place. Dennis Rodman seemed to have a lot of fun.
Well, and you've played basketball, so
you're likely
perfect.
Probably get along. I'd have to let him win, though. Apparently, people who don't let him win, they don't leave.
Way before we see a truly significant increase in Venezuelan oil production. Lindsay?
Matt Rivers reporting from Colombia. Thank you.
Oh, Furby says nobody gets my humor.
Captured, cuffed, and escorted. Though the charges of narco-terrorism perhaps mask Donald Trump's real intent when it comes to forcing Nicolas Maduro's descent from the strongman leader of Venezuela to a shackled prisoner in the United States. Maduro.
You must love Xi, too. Yeah, Xi Jinping, he's a cool dude.
And his first lady.
I mean, like, I don't know, China, like Mao. Like, he was the last dude that ran for, like, more than, like, 2 consecutive terms. So, Xi Jinping, he got rid of the term limit because people love him so much.
Green, a sight so extraordinary that even drug enforcement officers could not resist filming it on their phones. Sending the image of the Venezuelan president limping painfully, a blindfold pushed to his forehead, spiraling across social media. Not that it seemed to
he's
trouble him.
limping. Okay, I thought that they had those, like, ankle cuffs on him. I wasn't, like, looking. I just assumed.
I think he hurt his leg. Like, he tripped when they were, like, invading. He was probably, like, sleeping in the middle of the night. Imagine him, like, he had, like,
flying out of bed.
Well, he probably had, like, a night mask and everything. He's in his robe, and it's like, oh, fuck!
Was this a final sign of defiance from a leader who had been taken by surprise? So how did he get here? The Americans cut the power to the Venezuelan capital before explosions shook Caracas, and Maduro was snatched by U.S. Special Forces.
Okay, so they cut the power to the entire capital. I know a lot of cities have or hospitals have generators, but I think that's pretty dangerous. Do you think there are any, like, civilians that died because, I don't know, they're operating heavy machinery in a factory, or maybe they're on some kind of life support system and then power was just abruptly cut?
Well, I mean, Russia does it to Ukraine. There's no problems there.
Well, they're evil because they're not America.
Operation.
So it's okay if America does it. Merca.
Yeah, because we got to police the world. Who else if not America?
I mean, yeah, we wouldn't be here if we didn't do the things that we did. And if that means cutting off the power to a capital city of a country, that's what we got to do.
It's only for 3 hours. What's only for 3 hours? Them cutting off the capital or cutting off the power to the capital?
Safe room. A large part of his security team were killed by US soldiers. Within hours, he was out of the country and in American hands.
Death toll is 80 people?
President Trump, Secretary of State
See,
Marco
okay,
Rubio,
I didn't see. Now I want to look at my news app because I didn't know it was like, oh, after Maduro was kidnapped, it's just like, oh, the city's just peacefully going about their time or whatever. Like nobody's freaking out.
And yeah, I believe it should be 0. Or I agree.
Hegseth watching the operation, not from the White House Situation Room, but Mar-a-Lago, Trump's Florida resort. Screens on the walls show a Twitter search for Venezuela. The president said it was like watching a television show, and like so often, he treated it like one. The Trump administration says Maduro is the boss of a drug cartel responsible for American deaths.
24 jobs and education!
But for critics, this was a massive overreach, an abuse of power. Not really about drugs, but oil.
It's another outrage of Trump. His only interest is oil and greed and corruption.
Oh, what a lib.
Well, I do 100% agree that he's not doing this for altruistic reasons. It's clear that it's for petty, like, self-serving reasons, but I'm still happy Maduro is arrested. I mean, at least there's some good that came from it.
Well, yeah, right here, it says Trump's action could set precedent for authoritarian powers across globe.
This was a job well done.
We hope that Maduro is punished. He deserves the full weight of the law. These people here aren't Venezuelan. None of these people here are from Venezuela.
Since his first term...
See, that guy's from Venezuela. so he's automatically right about anything associated with Venezuela.
In the chat?
No, the guy who's
Oh, okay. Yeah, he
later,
is.
a dream realised. One that Trump is trying to argue is about America first. But will his MAGA base, which has long argued against foreign interventions, really buy it?
This is the same
Washington. These guys gotta be fucking bots. Again, these liberals are very uneducated. So do you disagree that Maduro shouldn't be?
Well, Gene, come on. You don't have a PhD. You're not that smart.
Oh, yeah. I only have a master's.
Playbook that we are so sick and tired of, that doesn't serve the American people, but actually serves the big corporations, the banks, and the oil executives.
Meanwhile, the how of this
and getting good with China.
Donald Trump claims that he's going to run Venezuela. He's done a terrible job running the United States of America. This was not simply a counter-narcotics operation. It was
slandering Trump.
Well, I mean, hasn't he helped with inflation?
Who does this guy think he is?
An act of war without even asking Congress. And what comes next? Trump said Venezuela's exiled opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado,
I'm the Venezuelan now.
Despite her party reportedly winning the country's 2024 general election by a landslide.
Unfortunately, and sadly, but unfortunately.
Wait, what's that?
Bill Hicks is Venezuelan.
I think he's lying.
A vast majority of the opposition is no longer present inside.
And no,
Venezuela.
he looks exactly like Maduro when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Compliance and
I
cooperation.
don't know. Bill Hicks needs to grow a mustache.
Does he not have one? I thought he had a beard, and I assumed he had a mustache if he had a beard. Yeah, pull up a picture of Bill Hicks and just put it right next to Victor.
I don't remember him having any facial hair.
Could not make a deal or an arrangement.
Doesn't he have a
Instead,
big,
America
beautiful
backing Maduro's
beard?
vice president, but she condemned the operation, which is why so many are skeptical of Donald Trump's claim that this is job done. Foreign interventions tend to be messy. Running Venezuela, as Trump has suggested, could make it difficult for him to deliver on his central promise of putting America first.
Well, in a moment, we'll speak to our international editor, Lindsay Hilsom, on Colombia's border with Venezuela. But first to Anushka Astana, who's outside the detention center.
Thanks, Vid.
The images inside Venezuela, a mix of celebration and fear over the country's future. Many expressing relief Maduro is gone, others condemning the operation.
Yes. Gonna leave me here with the chat. Got convicted for felony trafficking and everything.
ABC's chief international correspondent James Longman is at the border with Venezuela.
Tonight, the world reacting to America's stunning operation in Venezuela. A number of people were killed in
And
the US.
yes, I'm aware of that fact associated with Rubio. And I think same way Trump has ulterior motives here, I think Rubio has ulterior motives. And he definitely is eyeing Cuba.
Strikes that accompanied Maduro's capture this apartment building right next to a military complex, although the government won't confirm the number of dead. The defense minister still defiant, saying today it was against Venezuela, tomorrow it could be against any state or any country. But after the celebration in the streets at the fall of an autocrat, millions wonder, what now?
This is cooked up on the Colombian side of the border, and that there is Venezuela. And in normal times, tens of thousands of Venezuelans cross this border to buy goods.
Devil's advocate here. If they can get the oil wells going in a few, could be very financially good for America and drop gas prices to under $2 a gallon. I think it's going to be a very costly project, repairing all that infrastructure and getting it going. But I don't know. I think things aren't really going to get that much better in Venezuela. Because just look at Iraq. I mean, getting rid of Saddam, I don't think there's been anyone worse than Saddam who has served like in Iraq, but Iraq definitely was completely destabilized, and it didn't really help the quality of living of the people in that country at all.
Here, but they can't get back home. Now, though, it's a path perhaps to a new future for millions of people who've been forced into exile.
We meet nervous faces, like Jose Luis and his mother.
You get the sense that people don't really know how to feel. Happy that Maduro's gone, but they have no idea what's going to happen next.
We meet Sol.
What did you...
When I heard the news about Maduro, I started crying with
Oh,
joy, she
inside
says.
Venezuela. Okay, so these are people that are,
Yes.
happy, but they don't know what's going to happen. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Well, maybe they can come home. She shows us her groceries, cheaper here than in Venezuela.
Sol is hoping that in the future she won't have to come to Colombia to get her shopping. And it's a busy night tonight, Lindsay, on the bridge to Venezuela. Happiness, the overwhelming emotion we encountered about the end of Maduro, but for many of Venezuela's neighbors, they are still officially condemning...
Now, the public was very happy when Saddam was ousted in Iraq. Like, they were toppling, like, statues, and I mean, it is really fucking depressing. Like, you watch a lot of, remember that, or I don't think I watched it with you, the film Turtles Can Fly, which that was an Iraqi film. It's like, it seemed like they really believed America was there to help them. And it's not really what came of it. So I don't know. Bush probably didn't do a good job when it came to the logistics, like the after plan, when it came to ousting Saddam. So do you think Trump is going to do better with all the planning?
Of course. Okay, wait. So my parents, I remember when the whole Saddam Hussein thing was going on, he was like, look at them, they're happy, they're free in the streets. And so I feel like my dad is going to be saying the same thing. Like, look, the US is doing so good for everyone. Now Venezuelans are happy in the street. I mean, I don't know. That's just what I would guess since they're Republican.
And then 6 months later.
The operation, big questions about what...
And I mean, there are a lot of like militias throughout Venezuela. So there's lots of infighting amongst all the militias and paramilitary groups. So I could see how things could really get out of hand if things aren't managed well.
Yeah.
Lots of mixed emotions there, James. Thank you.
Well, now to a story about CBS News. A few hours before last night's edition of 60 Minutes, viewers learned that a segment that had been promoted would not air. It's about a notorious prison in El Salvador and the Trump administration's decision to send Venezuelans and others there who it says entered the U.S. illegally. The correspondent, 60 Minutes veteran Sharon Alfonsi, sent an email to CBS News colleagues saying the story is factually correct and accusing CBS News editor-in-chief Barry Weiss of pulling it for political reasons. Alfonsi says that despite several requests for interviews, no one in the Trump administration would participate in the story. In an email, she wrote that, quote, if the administration's refusal to participate becomes a valid reason to...
So do you think the prisoners, do you think they're better in El Salvador prisons or Venezuelan prisons?
I don't fucking know anything about El Salvador.
Just XVID.
The cleanup the day after, when there's chaos at a political
It's
level,
tiny, is what it's looking
chaos
like.
on the streets. At least a dozen people were killed in anti-government protests yesterday. Many more, like Jesus, were injured.
Okay, so this a while back.
This video?
So this is 6 years ago. So I want to watch some older videos to show just how like fucked up Venezuela is under like Maduro's rule.
How dare you say that? We've never even been to Venezuela.
Okay. And people in the chat are like, Cuba next. No, Greenland's next, not Cuba.
It's shouting at them, telling them things like, do you not struggle to get food too?
Oh, wait, that's right. I remember watching a video. So that one travel vlogger, whatever, he visited Venezuela and they're only making like $6 a day or something like that. They're just starving. And I was like, oh my God, I feel bad for Venezuela.
Well, yeah, it's almost like what you see in like Yemen or Sudan. It's like outside of like Caracas, it's widespread famine.
It's horrible. There were bullets fired, and rubber bullets too, over there and here. Waves of people coming and going.
But what's really going on in this country? I've been to Venezuela several times in the last 2 years to report on the gravity of the humanitarian crisis. I've met some of those who are the most vulnerable and see how more and more people are living off the streets, sometimes even chasing rubbish trucks to find something to eat. The Venezuelan government took almost full control of the food supply in the last 2 years, but amidst claims of mismanagement...
Oh, and they have this one program, it's called CLAP, C-L-A-P. I would have come up with a different name, but he does what Prime Minister Modi does, like in India, where he has his like face on the packages of like the food that he distributes. And one of the things he does is he holds it hostage, like where it's like, hey, if you don't do what I say, or if you protest against me, then you lose your state ration. So you get a state ration as long as you tune in to state television, because that's one of the requirements. He has these like estates that people live in, and it's like you get free housing, but it's required that you tune in and watch the state television every day.
It's a wait, where is this?
Venezuela.
Oh, okay. Because that sounds exactly like North Korea.
Yeah, kind of.
You can't like, isn't it? You can't fuck with any, like, if his face is on a newspaper, like, it can't be covered.
They shut down their entire capital for a day because they found some spray paint that was defaming towards Kim Jong-un.
this.
Yeah, see, Trump isn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse.
A few months ago, I found something even more shocking.
Rotten beef is also sold here in this market.
I don't know. Would you like to eat at this wet market?
No.
It smells strong.
I'll eat
It's got flies all
grass
over it.
before that.
How did it all come to this? The government blames US economic sanctions, but they were imposed after the economy fell into recession. Many believe instead that this is a result of an influx of cash.
Well, so, pause it. The sanctions were never a good thing for Venezuela, right?
Yeah, well, usually it just causes even more instability.
And then, because I read an article that it's like it doesn't get medications or it makes the healthcare a lot worse. Is that also true for Venezuela?
Yeah, and usually when you have a country that is a corrupt regime and the quality of living is already poor, sanctions just result in even greater human rights violations. It just is this like cascading effect.
By the ruling party. This is why many Venezuelans elected Hugo Chavez almost 20 years ago.
Okay, wait, which president sanctioned them?
It's been going on for a while. So I know Obama enforced sanctions. Wouldn't shock me if Trump did it during his first presidency. But this is 6 years ago, so this would be under Trump.
So Republican or Democrat, they all hate Venezuela.
No one's been getting along with Venezuela.
Can't they find a way to just get along?
Nah, we need the oil.
Corrupt parties, but under him is when things may have started to unravel. Today, with international pressure rising, the risk of a popular revolt against President Maduro has never been higher. Vladimir Hernandez, BBC News.
Deep inside the capital of Venezuela, the last 2 years have been devastating. A global pandemic threatening an already dire situation. With medicine, water, power, and fuel shortages, the virus was not the only thing Venezuelans feared. It's what came as a result: hunger.
Oh, is that true, Gene? Obama bombed more countries and deported more illegals than Trump.
I know he deported more illegals. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he bombed more countries. I mean, Obama, pretty right-leaning president, even though he was a Democrat. And in the same way, Trump's full of shit, saying he wouldn't get involved in foreign affairs. Obama campaigned promising to get the troops out of the Middle East, and he got us involved in like Libya. He got us involved like in Syria. So Obama, he also was. We'll get to this with Iran, but there was the Stuxnet virus that it was under the Obama administration. And that was used to destroy their nuclear weapon, or not their nuclear weapon, their nuclear energy program. So a lot of that started with the Obama administration. But yeah, fuck Obama, fuck Bush, fuck Clinton, fuck Trump, fuck them all.
Every day, Jefferson Gallegos and his wife ask themselves how they will feed their family.
Oh, Biden.
Years ago,
he was
he
our
says
last
things
president.
were good in Venezuela. Gallegos worked for a national TV network. Today, he takes any job he can get, from working as a construction worker to teaching gym classes and unloading trucks. When there's work, there's food. But when there isn't, mom and dad sacrifice the little they have. In the last year of the pandemic, Venezuela's poverty rate increased by about 9%, according to a recent study. Around 3 out of every 4 Venezuelans now live in extreme poverty. But this isn't just happening here. Hunger is spreading like a virus across Latin America and the Caribbean. A new report by the UN found more than 59 million people.
Okay, they're going over the pandemic too.
This is Syria's
so
biggest
sad.
and popular meat market. Well, it used to be at least. Now it's less about meat and more about booze, fat, tripe, and bones. Animal offcuts have become the affordable option for Venezuela.
I don't know. You don't think that looks appetizing?
By hyperinflation. Anything makes a good soup or stew.
My cat's right next to me, by the way, y'all. They're so on this fucking...
I don't know. Do you think that it's safe to eat? I don't think it's well regulated. Oh, you can't even look at it.
It's also sold here in this market.
I saw some gray tones in meat.
What's that?
I saw gray tones in meat. Like, that just doesn't seem right. Oh, wow, Thea.
This is the face of Venezuela's pediatric healthcare crisis. Zabdiel is 5 years old, and he's battling both acute lymphoblastic leukemia and the economic chaos the country is facing. Earlier this year, Zabdiel was one of about 30 Venezuelan children waiting to receive bone marrow transplants in Italy. His mother, Annie Camacho, was hopeful. This expensive protocol, paying for hundreds of children to receive treatment in Italy, had traditionally been covered by Venezuela's oil reserves. But now, the agreement is on hold, as well as Zabdiel's treatment.
I don't get. Okay, what made them sanction Venezuela in the first place?
Because
they didn't suck their dicks.
Yeah.
Doctors told NBC News
that's pretty fucked up.
Was emblematic of a broader crisis.
Like, I'm sorry, but if you think that you're gonna put a country in total poverty, would you maybe like back off on the sanction?
They were already in poverty, so what's wrong with putting them into like a greater level of poverty? I mean, come on, the damage is done.
Kenneth Marquez, the director of the Catholic aid organization Caritas in Caracas, works with families facing malnutrition and those unable to get medical treatment.
Primero, un tema de alimentación. La gente necesita alimentarse. Segundo, un tema de salud. Salud de intervención y salud de medicamento.
The government's own data from 2016
What's wrong
shows
with
that
being
maternal mortality
spied
shot up
on?
by 65%.
What's wrong with being what?
Spied on, says Bell.
Everyone's spied on. Come on. It's 2026.
Rose by 30% to more than 11,000 babies under the age of 1 dying in a single year.
Wait, how many is that? I know you don't like kids, so you might like this
Shows that maternal
figure.
mortality shot up by 65% compared to 2015. Infant mortality rose by 30% to more than 11,000 babies under the...
Oh, that's a lot of dead babies.
A lot of dead baby jokes gonna come out of that.
Venezuela's public hospitals are lacking basic medicines and surgical supplies.
Oh, there's the
and facing
healthcare part that I
overcrowded
was
and
referring
unhygienic
to.
What's that?
The hospitals are lacking basic medicines.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Venezuela's public hospitals are lacking basic medicines and surgical supplies.
And people like one of the criminal markets, people will break in the prisons, steal a lot of like the like drugs and stuff in order to sell on the streets because, you know, mass poverty.
And facing overcrowded and unhygienic.
Oh God, that kid, like his eyes look like they're like bulging out.
Conditions.
My concern is that the situation is getting worse every day.
Physician
Are you about
Julio
to cry,
Castro says the
Jane?
entire country is in.
But hey, Maduro, do you think those kids, it's their fault for voting Maduro into power? So it's their fault for fostering the corrupt regime that's affecting them. So don't you think it warrants the sanctions that's causing all these babies to die?
Absolutely the fuck not.
Including the children who need bone marrow transplants, like Zabdiel. 11-year-old Eric Altuve is one of 4 patients at the Children's Hospital who died in May while waiting for a transplant. His death and the loss of the other children sparking outrage and anguish. The government of Nicolás Maduro blames U.S. sanctions for the lapse in bone marrow treatment, saying funds earmarked for the transplants have been frozen. But experts say sanctions and economic mismanagement are to blame.
Ver partir con muchos sueños, muchas ilusiones que tenemos en nuestro hijo. Me da temor.
Zabdiel's mother feels that politics is putting her son's life at stake, and she fears that there is neither a cure nor an end in sight.
Okay, well, also, Maduro, I mean, okay, I'm not saying that it's a lot. Can they do anything else to, like, get in a better situation? Or is it just oil is the be-all, end-all for this country?
Well, they need to... I know, like, Norway and Saudi Arabia are good examples of countries that have very large oil reserves, but they didn't put all their eggs in one basket. They invested in other types of private sort of capital. So they need to try to get other markets and industries like going. So they should definitely reach out for like foreign aid. And then that's the problem. Like the sanctions are cutting them off from sort of foreign global support. And they really only have like connections with China, Russia, and Iran. So they really need to, like now that Maduro's gone, I do think the world should come forward and try to give them support. We all live on the same planet.
Yeah, that's true.
Han sufrido, pero ellos no. Ellos son los que más se ven afectados de esta situación. Mi hijo no conoce nada de eso, pero tiene una lucha y una guerra.
Somebody said, like, it's your fault Trump is in power. Yeah, I mean, people are just bored in a hive mind. So if a political leader in a country does something bad, it's the fault of everyone in that country. It's how simple it is.
Yeah.
Digo, mira, pero es por tu bien, porque ella va a luchar por un porvenir. Y tu papá también, porque tiene otras metas mejores para ustedes dos, o sea, ella y el varón. Entonces, decidió que bueno, que entendió.
Pasa, tranquilo, pasa.
Yo siento que depende del amor de mi hijo, mamá, que no se quiere más. Entonces, esa es la angustia de que ella se quiere venir. Pero claro, en la situación como estamos yo, entre comillas, pues yo preferiría que estuviera allá, ¿verdad? Porque...
So, I guess further videos, the mass exodus, there were a lot of kids that were left behind because they had to get out of the country.
Wait, so like a couple, they're like, we gotta leave the kids behind. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah. What, is that what you would do?
Oh my God. Well, I wouldn't have kids in the first place.
Oh, they also have a lot of... You wouldn't want to adopt him?
Stop it.
What? I know you hate kids.
It makes me feel bad for him.
Well, what I don't get is, it's like when you have feral cats or feral dogs, it's like, why don't people take them in? I don't see how... I don't know, like if there's like a homeless kid living outside your place, I don't know how a person would just be like, I don't know, I guess if they're poor themselves.
I mean, I'd find a foster. I know you can't do that in Venezuela, but that's what I would do if there was a homeless kid outside. Or I'd be like, or what is it? Is it foster or orphanage? What is the proper
group home? No, that's what it is. Group home. Yeah, that's the...
I thought group home was for old people.
No, they have group homes for older people, but it's that if a kid doesn't have like parents or like foster parents they're living with, then they live in a group home.
Okay, well, that.
There's no dialogue or no subtitle. Associated Press sucks. They have so many videos where there's like no commentary.
11-year-old Mariana is tired. She's been out on the streets since early in the morning, begging. Today was 40 degrees and it was hard work, but her bubbly personality still
40 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Marisela, her mother, looks exhausted.
Llegamos hacia las casas. A veces yo no encuentro nada, a veces me han tocado sacar de la basura. La llora bien. ¿Y si tiene algo que me regale?
Well, for being homeless, she's got pretty good teeth. Better than most Americans.
Tengo hambre. No hay nada, y yo tengo hambre. Eso es hace 3 años para acá porque yo tenía a mi marido trabajaba, pero mi marido muerto.
¿Qué sientes cuando la gente te mira feo o te critica por estar viviendo en la calle?
Me da rabia, me da pena. Porque él habla mierda de los otros. Porque no saben la necesidad que uno está pasando y yo tengo mis hijos y no tengo mis hijos pasando.
This is a frequent sight in most towns and cities. Children and adults desperately rummaging through rubbish to find something to eat. Food is a luxury for many Venezuelans, especially for those here in the slums. There are regular shortages of basic goods, and what's available is too expensive. Children are the most vulnerable.
Desde el 2016 notamos una mayor afluencia de chicos en situación de calle al patio abierto y por supuesto aumentó en un 40-50% la población
50% more children
que acudían a nosotros. A finales del primer semestre del 2018 registramos un aumento del 60% de los niños en situación de calle. Por supuesto nos alertó más que el aumento de la cantidad, nos alertó un mayor número de niñas en situación de calle.
I spent some time with a group of street kids here in Caracas.
With no home, no food, no one to give them any clothes even. It's in supermarkets where they come to ask people for anything they can help with.
En la calle te pasan muchas cosas. Te ven los policías, te pegan, te tratan mal, la gente te menosprecia porque estás en la calle. Hay personas que nos insultan, nos dicen, vayan a pedir al presidente.
En mi casa había más o menos comida, no alcanzaba, nosotros éramos muchos.
Viene nada más mi hermana, mis 2 hermanas, yo y mis otros 2 hermanos, y mamá.
¿Y papá?
No, mi papá está muerto. Y nosotros también somos seres humanos, pues. Entonces, a mí no me gustaría estar el resto de mi vida en la calle, pues.
En los 2 últimos años...
Next video.
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo te van a entrar en el refugio? Yo vine para ver si entro en el refugio. Allá. Voy a andar varios para allá,
She
pero
pregnant?
el viernes. El viernes.
Jean, you're the pregnancy expert. Is she pregnant?
I would guess.
Okay, vamos a donde allá en la casa.
Pregnancy expert. Where'd you get that from?
I think it was from some movie we were watching. I can tell you the full story later.
¿Cómo está Jorber y qué está haciendo?
Allá lo dejé, nena. En Santa Rosa. Sé que no me lo pude traer. Que no nos alcanzaron los pasajes, no. Y allá lo dejé, pero está tremendo, nena. Anda perdido. Anda jodiendo con los muchachos.
Hold on, we really
You're
need
like
to...
giggling and we're watching like kids in poverty.
I'm sorry. We really need to sanction these people so they get the message.
Oh, who said that? Bill Hicks?
No, not my real name.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry. I was already sad. Like, my sadness kind of ran out. Like, I'm over it. We can go to the next.
Yeah.
No me quiere hacer caso, nena. O sea, que el padre murió. Se puso más rebelde.
Now, for those of you who don't know, I hope no one's taking what I said seriously. I don't think we should have been sanctioning them. I don't agree with the totalitarian, like, sort of collective punishment. I was mocking the argument people on the right like to make to defend Israel of like, yeah, all those 2 6-year-old, like, starving, delimbed kids. Yeah, they voted for Hamas.
Delimbed. Oh my God.
Lo peor es que lo vayan a matar como un perro, 14 añitos que lo que tiene, pero no quiere hacer nada y te caso.
I think that's rainwater.
Pienso muchas cosas. Que quisiera que estuvieran aquí, no estuvieran por allá. Estoy solo. Me siento solo.
You wouldn't want to adopt him.
You're trolling me. How am I not supposed to, like, crack a joke and laugh? And then you get mad when I'm giggling.
And then this is something where, so in a lot of the countries in the Middle East that America loves helping, it's like if a country is just completely destabilized, has no infrastructure, has no economy, it's like all kids can really do is join gangs, join militias. That's really the only option. You should watch City of God. That's one of my favorite movies. Anyway, let's get to the next topic.
Wait, hold on. Whoa. I was just looking through my notes on Venezuela. We are not done talking about Venezuela. If you thought that you were going to run your own podcast, you're fucking wrong.
Well, what else do you want to talk about regarding Venezuela?
Okay, well, first of all, because we were kind of talking about it beforehand. I asked, well, who is in favor of the U.S. capturing Maduro? And
no one.
So Argentina, Javier Milei, he is, but Trump recently gave him like $40 billion. So, like, yeah, don't you think he would be?
Well, Argentina, they don't really get along too well with their neighboring countries. And Argentina, they are known for their white or their black cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
they love Trump. That means they really love Trump.
Well, yeah, they have a very fucked up history. So I'd say with Argentina, it's kind of similar to him helping the white South Africans.
Yeah.
I'd say there's definitely that sort of motive there.
And then, well, I think I've read through twice now all the countries that I could find. And most of them are saying that they don't like that Trump is violating international law. And then, well, I was wondering about Ukraine because it seems like Ukraine would want to get on Trump's good side right now. And it was, as Jean put it, very bipartisan. Just very neutral, not like, didn't even say they were against violating it, or maybe said they were against violating international law. Like,
the problem is, like, whether it is for the greater good of the people in that country, like, if a foreign power decides to intervene, then that just opens up, like, sort of Pandora's box where now other foreign powers, like Russia intervening in Ukraine, making the argument that, hey, in these eastern provinces, they want to be part of, like, Russia, which is a shitty argument, but it's like, if the United States is going to do stuff like this, it's like, what's stopping other countries from being like, well, hey, why can't we invade and interfere with affairs in other countries?
Yeah.
So it's this fine line, and that's the thing. You don't want World War III hasn't happened yet, and World War I and II are pretty much over colonialism, and that's something you definitely want to avoid. Are major countries going in and occupying other countries, because once you the dominoes start to fall, and different powers are like, hey, you know what? Like, Trump's taking Venezuela, Russia's taking like eastern provinces of Ukraine and Crimea. China might be like, well, you know what? Why can't we have Taiwan?
Yeah, well, and then, I mean, I guess it's further fuel for Russia or Putin to be like, come on, Trump, we saw what you did. Just let me have Ukraine.
Oh, somebody said Argentina very bougie.
Bougie.
Well, I know Chile has better economy than Argentina. Or
They do.
Chile is the most developed country in South America, so they got Argentina beat. I believe Uruguay might also.
Stop playing this. We're talking.
Oh, and somebody mentioned this is how the majority of the world lives: travel overseas and see the reality. We are the privileged. Yeah, well aware of that.
Oh, wait. Europe doesn't, and Japan, they don't live like poverty.
Well, no,
Venezuela.
but like, still, they're the exception. Like 80% of the world's population lives on less than $10 a day.
Oh,
2
okay.
billion people worldwide live in slums. Like 70% of the world's population doesn't have access to flushable plumbing, and a fourth of the world's population doesn't have access to electricity.
Okay, that's pretty crazy.
We live in a wonderful world full of war and famine and poverty and genocide and corruption, because human beings are awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
so these questions aren't in order, so we might skip around. But my question for you, Gene, is how should Trump have gone about all of this?
I honestly think he shouldn't have gotten involved at all. Or I don't know, maybe even though Maduro's a terrible fucking person, I mean, I might not know what I'm talking about here, but maybe if you bribed him,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, like, we'll pay you just to leave office.
Yeah.
We'll give you like a lavish estate, and then from there, like, maybe they could have gone about it that way, and then they could have done it without any sort of military like intervention. But I don't know, maybe that's foolish.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. Like, why didn't they just, Gene, quit fucking playing that video? Like, why didn't they just say, like, we'll give you money in exchange, give us your oil?
Well, there's the Epstein Island for like rich people that want to do really bad things to young sex slaves. So maybe they just need to make an island for evil dictators, that it's like, hey, like, here's this very lavish like dictator island that you get to live in. And like, come on, give your people a break. We'll appoint somebody else to lead the country.
So will the boat strikes stop?
Yeah, I think it was just a show of force. I think they were just doing it to beat their chest.
Okay. I said, is Trump doing this because he's corrupt? Is that, oh, no, we already went over that. Trump is not doing this out of the goodness for his heart for the people of Venezuela. He's doing it for the oil.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, yeah, what does this mean for Trump's relationship with China?
I think it's probably just going to be the same. I think they've already like kind of tarnished relations as much as possible, especially with the tariffs. Don't think it's going to get any better.
And what about the rest of the world? Will this improve our relationship with the rest of the world?
No, Trump's not helping our relations globally at all. The world hates us more than ever under Trump.
I think, what was it? I was reading someone in Europe like literally said that. They're like, we're not liking the US right now.
Well, I mean, he's talking about like taking Greenland, so
oh yeah, pissing off the Denmarkians.
Well, that's something where Turkey, they made Turkey a NATO state, but then Turkey keeps butting heads with Greece, which is also a NATO state. And then that kind of creates this dilemma. It's like, wait, what if one NATO state attacks another NATO state? So if Greece attacks Turkey or Turkey attacks Greece, then does that mean all the other NATO states need to like aid them on their like the behalf of the state that's, I guess, being attacked? So Greenland is a NATO state. So if America attacks Greenland, which currently Greenland is still technically part of Denmark, which again, a European NATO state, so then does that mean NATO would get involved? So I don't think Trump actually will invade Greenland, but if he does, it's like that would pretty much be World War III. It would be the United States versus NATO.
Yeah. Yeah, how would he even take over Greenland? Like, what do you do? Might be a dumb question, but I really don't know.
Well, I mean, it's like taking over any other country with a military. Like, he's offering to buy it from Denmark, which they said no. But he keeps talking about it, which, like, even though, like, I think there's, like, less than 1% of 1% of 1% of him actually going in and doing anything, it's still not good for foreign affairs diplomacy.
Yeah.
He's just pissing off Denmark and pissing off the rest of the globe. Okay, let's get to Iran.
Erupted in Iran, with shopkeepers, bazaar merchants, and university students taking to the streets in several Iranian cities, chanting anti-regime slogans over the country's worsening economic crisis. The demonstrations come amid rising inflation rates.
Fuck Canada? Why fuck Canada? Oh, because he wants Canada. Trump wants...
They said America couldn't even take Afghanistan. Well, hey, Russia and Britain couldn't take Afghanistan either.
Currency losing nearly half its
Britain
value.
was able to annex India, but they failed to annex Afghanistan 3 times.
Okay, wait. This is funny. Say what you will about Maduro. He was never on that island.
Fair point.
According to the State Statistics Center. The soaring cost of living has also made daily life a struggle for many across the country,
like that.
with food prices rising by 72% and health and medical items up by 50% from last year. Video captured by protesters on the ground shows a heavy deployment of anti-riot police, and witnesses say tear gas was deployed in some parts of the country's capital, Tehran. Iranian authorities have a history of quashing bouts of unrest with violent security action and...
So there were major riots a few years back. It's before the quarantine where, no, I think it was around the time the quarantine started, but there was one Iranian citizen, they beat her. The police did like sort of Rodney King, but they just beat her to death because she wasn't wearing her hijab properly.
Oh.
And then there were mass protests, and it seems like the people in Iran, like overall, are not happy with the government and are ready for like some kind of revision.
A Don Rowe?
Yes.
Mass arrests. But officials on Tuesday said the government is looking to implement reform, with the head of Iran's central bank stepping down.
This person's insulting the fuck out of me.
What's that?
This stupid bitch. Canada wants to be in America. God, how stupid are you, fucking idiot?
What, Canada wants to be part of the United States? I don't think that's
the
case.
Yeah,
I don't know where they're getting that from.
Enough. And when their voices are raised, the pressure that is being put on them is
You know what, Canada, they still, the Governor General is appointed by the crown. So they're still, you go to Wikipedia, people who know how to do their homework, they get all their information from Wikipedia. It says that the Queen of it, or I guess the King now, King Charles, is their head of state. Maybe we just need to buy Canada from the royal family in Britain.
The government's job
by
is
everyone
to hear the voices and help them reach a common understanding to solve the problems that exist in society.
But the economic crisis also comes amid the risk of renewed conflict following June's 12-day war between Iran.
Somebody says just need cheeseburgers to take over Canada. Well, apparently America, so Canada, Australia, UK, like the other English-speaking countries, they weren't too far behind America in terms of obesity. And Mexico, like a decade back, actually surpassed America a little bit in terms of obesity. But in the last like 3 or 4 years, American obesity rates have gotten significantly worse. So now we've surpassed Mexico again, and now like the gap is actually widening between us and our other like English speaking, like the other English speaking countries. So yeah, Americans are getting a lot fatter, which as a non-fat American, it is really assuring because now I get to look at all the fat Americans. Like, yes, I'm one of the non-fat Americans.
The non-fats.
Israel and growing pressure from
non-fat
the US
elite
and their European allies over Iran's nuclear
Got a problem
program.
with fat
The country's
people?
economy has been crippled by sanctions.
Yeah, they waste too much space on an airplane.
I can't disagree.
Yeah.
Imposed by
Pay
both the
for
US
2 fucking seats if you're spilling in the other seat, you motherfucker.
and the United Nations over Iran's failure to uphold.
I
its
can't tell you how
commitments.
many times when I'm flying, like I try to like put my laptop in one seat. It's like, please make it.
Under the JCPOA.
Well, hey, look, Gene, have you ever been on like Frontier or Spirit Airlines with a fat ass
No.
next to you?
I do Southwest Airlines.
Then I don't think you've truly suffered.
Monday, US President Donald Trump warned of the potential for yet another round of strikes if Iran attempts to resume
Yeah, Trump is a sponsor of obesity.
its ballistic or nuclear weapons program.
Fattest
Iran-
president since William Howard Taft. You know, they had to make a special bathtub for Taft because of how fat he was.
For who?
William Howard Taft, he was the president after Roosevelt.
It is special bath.
Yeah, because of how much of a fat fuck he was.
Oh, this guy.
Oh, and he was also the last president to sport facial hair. Yeah.
What is he, 400 pounds?
I don't know, but he was a fat fuck. Okay, let's get back to the video.
However, has maintained that its nuclear energy program is entirely peaceful.
In early December, hundreds of women lined up for a marathon on Iran's resort island of Kish. They ran with uncovered hair, ignoring state dress codes and the headscarves placed in their race kits by organizers anticipating
It
violations.
seems like this is also a popular like opinion amongst not just women, but men in Iran as well. They seem to support like women having the right to dress however they fucking please. So, and this where like people in America where they just think that, yeah, the Middle East is just a monolith. Like they're all just extreme Muslims who don't support freedom at all. And remember,
Isn't Saudi Arabia, it's like you can't go to the movies without a man or something?
oh yeah, like Saudi Arabia, they're one of the worst examples of like Sharia law and just having a very draconian sort of legal system that's based around like those sort of strict religious policies. And America loves Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, they're involved in like
Because the
this
oil,
whole,
right?
yeah, 100%. And they're holding Yemen under this like medieval style siege. So they're doing to Yemen what Israel does to Palestine. So, and it's like people aren't going to protest the US government kissing the ass of Saudi Arabia when they're all, but then Iran, which butts heads of Saudi Arabia, they want to like, I guess vilify the people there. But in Iran, like you see that the popular opinion is that like, no, women should be allowed to dress however they fucking please. And they definitely don't support those very draconian fascist sort of like religious sort of policies.
Yeah, now I will say, okay, since like I haven't been versed, I guess I'm realizing that I was watching like those travel vloggers for a while, and this guy was like fucking hitchhiking in Iran, and he like after that video I just had nothing but positive, like a positive view of Iran.
Yeah, and well, I don't know. Apparently in Iran, every single facility, there's stockpiles of suicide vests. Remember Ark? He said that.
Oh my god, how dare you talk shit about someone?
Oh my god. No, he said that in Palestine, if they put boots on the ground.
Yeah. I wasn't there. Yeah.
No, but they would just blow up the buildings regardless because they have stockpiles. Like they have one suicide vest per person. It's like, oh my god. He looks at the world like it's a cartoon.
In Tehran weeks earlier, a street band played Seven Nation Army to a cheering crowd. A moment that went viral, symbolizing a quiet but visible erosion of the Islamic Republic's cultural controls. These scenes were not isolated acts of rebellion. They were part of a broader pattern of everyday defiance, unfolding across a country where dissent is often punished harshly. This week, shopkeepers and bazaar merchants marched in several Iranian cities.
Bill says, LOL, Gene pounding the desk.
Trying to make a point. Drive the point home.
Cities, chanting anti-regime slogans as the national currency plunged to record lows. Many said they could no longer afford rent or basic necessities. The demonstrations were the largest since the 2022 nationwide protests sparked by the death of Masa Amini in police custody. Protests that shook the foundations of the Islamic Republic.
I don't know. Do you think the people there need to cover up?
Sluts. No.
While still limited in scale, the unrest signals deepening frustration as Iranians reclaim public spaces and personal freedoms through uncoordinated grassroots acts. At the center of Iran's political system stands its 86-year-old supreme leader.
So and that's what their head of state's called, the supreme leader.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not like a king or a czar. They're just called the supreme leader.
So, okay.
And he's their second supreme leader. And I think he has
in the whole history of Iran?
Yeah. So they used to be Persia. So it was like
okay.
Yeah, it was after World War II where they adopted the title Iran, and you had the United States actually supported a coup. So before like what's his name? I think he has the same name as the current supreme leader, because I know he was working under the first supreme leader.
Ali Khamenei, increasingly frail, increasingly cautious. After decades spent fortifying the Islamic Republic against internal and external threats, Khamenei now faces crises on multiple fronts.
I thought the K was silent.
And few viable options. Analysts say he has retreated into a waiting game. Khamenei reportedly spent much of a recent 12-day war with Israel in a secure...
Hamani.
Hmm?
I don't know if you pronounce the K.
Oh, Hamani.
When he emerged, Iran's military had been weakened, parts of its nuclear program damaged, and public confidence further eroded. Inside Iran, daily life has grown harsher. Power outages are frequent. Inflation is soaring. Unemployment is rising. The government has switched to cheaper, dirtier fuel to keep electricity flowing, choking cities with smog. Iran is also facing its worst drought in more than 4 decades. 20 provinces are affected, and President Masoud Pezeshkian has openly floated the idea of evacuating parts of Tehran due to water shortages. Economically, years of heavy money printing have crushed the rial, pushing inflation to historic highs and triggering...
That's always the best thing to do if your economy's struggling. Just print a bunch of money. And that is something that Chayev and Maduro were doing. They were doing some money printing.
Protests among merchants and workers alike. Iran's latest state budget now runs into the quadrillions of rials, a reflection of a currency in freefall. Beyond its borders, Iran's once assertive foreign policy is faltering. Western sanctions...
in the chat.
We gotta look it up. I'm pretty sure...
What do you want me to look up?
That's not how you pronounce his name. So...
Well, okay, you gotta YouTube a video on it so you can get the,
I know I'm not even spelling it right.
Audio.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Khamenei.
Oh, you do?
That's American pronunciation.
Okay.
We need the other pronunciation.
Oh, they were right. Whatever. It's too much of a derailment.
Back to our break.
Remain tight. Diplomatic breakthroughs are absent, and Iran's network of regional proxies, long central to its deterrent strategy, is under sustained pressure from Israeli strikes. A major strategic setback came with the fall of Syria's Iran-aligned Assad dynasty.
So they were supporting Assad, and Assad, he is guilty of a lot of war crimes, and they found like World War II Nazi type like prisons in his estate, but I don't know. You don't see the United States supporting regimes that engage in a lot of war crimes like Israel or Saudi Arabia.
Stripping Tehran of a critical regional foothold. Despite mounting pressure, Khamenei remains committed to familiar tactics, producing missiles and drones, rebuilding weakened proxy forces, and rejecting Western conditions for negotiations.
They were correct about mission. Oh, abort mission.
Observers say the leadership appears focused less on reform and more on survival.
Okay,
As Iran
Bill,
grapples with
you're
unrest at home, pressure is all.
I'm sorry. You're right, because Jean says Laos, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Lao. And I think like I even found a video where it's like, yeah, the pronunciation there is Lao, and then Americans pronounce it Laos. I've totally gotten on Gene about this. And then, yeah, all of a sudden he fucking cares. Trying to act like you care about other countries.
What are you talking about? Like, I don't care because I'm getting the
because you're doing the wrong pronunciation. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure if you look up like Israel, it's like Yisrael, something like that. So I'll say like Israel instead because I want to respect. And like for Germany, why don't we say Deutschland? And Japan has a different name. Why aren't we respecting their country?
I don't know. That's all we need to be calling China the People's Republic of China. We need to start calling Taiwan the Republic of China.
Well, I mean, we don't say United States of America. We say U.S.
Yeah, or America.
Excuse me.
Also rising abroad. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
But even America is wrong because it's North and South America. Isn't America the whole thing? And like to say, when we say America, we're referring to the U.S.
Says, this girl is terrible. Boo.
Who says that?
Frank.
Oh, okay.
In Washington for tougher action against Iran, this time focusing on its ballistic missile program. U.S. President Donald Trump echoed the threat.
Yeah, Taiwan's the original China. Yeah, and they had the vetoing power in the UN up until the 80s. So they held China's like seat for like most of its history.
That if Iran rebuilds its military capabilities, will knock the hell out of them.
Don't forget, we made the plan possible by taking out Iran. And speaking of Iran, I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading, that they're building up weapons and...
His speech is so repetitive. Trump needs to build a better vocabulary. It's like, if they build up again, then it will be bad, so they better not be building up.
Eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading, that they're building up weapons and other things. And if they are, they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing. And I hope they're not doing it because we don't want to...
He hopes they're not doing it, because if they do, we're going to have to tear it down again, because they're building up and they shouldn't be building up. Oh, you're back to hear some of Trump's tangential...
Was the stream better while I was gone, Frank?
Yeah, 100%.
President Donald Trump echoed the threat, warning that if Iran rebuilds its military capabilities, will knock the hell out of them.
Don't forget, we made the plan possible by taking out Iran. And speaking of Iran, I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up.
So he hopes that they're not trying to build up.
I've been reading that they're building up weapons and other things. And if they are, they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing. And I hope they're not doing it because...
Yeah. What are we going to have to do if they're doing it? Because he hopes they're not doing it.
Kill Iran.
They're not building up. Going to have to
we don't want to waste the fuel on a B-2. 37-hour trip.
We took over Venezuela, so we got plenty of fuel now for all these both ways.
I don't want to waste a lot of fuel.
Okay, wait. I remember this has been this happened a little while ago, right? Where is it the nuclear stuff?
Yeah, their nuclear research facilities, which they like, one, it's like they claim that they want to use it for nuclear energy, not nuclear weapons. So I don't know if they've ever really shown any evidence that they were trying to build nuclear weapons with them. But the other thing is, even if they do acquire nuclear weapons, what are they going to do with it? So as much as they're like, you might not agree with their regime, I mean, I don't think if Iran had nuclear weapons, they would actually use it. So, I mean, Pakistan has nuclear weapons. India has nuclear weapons. So it's just, Israel has fucking nuclear weapons. So why can't Iran have nuclear weapons?
Well, excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. My things don't go well here. Isn't it that, like, didn't they sign something like they're not supposed to be making them?
Well, there's the nuclear, like, energy deal.
Yeah.
Under Obama. So Obama, under his administration, which I don't know if he took credit for it, there was a Stuxnet virus. So it was some kind of sleeperware, which it had, like, when it comes to data communication, you have a new day, or a 0 day, that's what they call it. And that's an exploit in, like, code or script that can be sold on the deep web. And it's called the 0 day because you have, like, a certain amount of days until the company is able to patch it up. And it had, like, 4 0 days, which was, like, unprecedented when it came to, like, malware. But it was designed to just spread as rapidly as it could on as many different devices, flash drives as possible. And that was something where, like, cybersecurity, like, experts and companies were, like, dissecting the program, like, holy shit, like, what's going on here? It's not really doing anything. It's not really harming any computers. It's not like a Trojan, but it made its way onto, like, the computers, the terminals in their nuclear energy programs. And once it got to where it needed, it started, like, the pylons in the generators, it caused them to just shift their rotation abruptly, where it collapsed the generators. And it was the program was designed to kind of, like, self-terminate the date that Obama's presidency ended. So I don't know. Do you think it was the Obama administration? But after that, that's when he got them to sign on to the nuclear energy deal. But it could have been Israel. Maybe Israel. Well, maybe they did it and they just used the, like, that specific date to pin it on Obama. They did it. Or no, if it was Israel, they wouldn't pin it on Obama. They would have pinned it on Hamas. So it was Hamas that programmed the Stuxnet virus.
Tonight, tense clashes between protesters and security forces in Iran now turning deadly, with at least 3 people killed and 17 injured at a protest today, according to a semi-official state news agency. The demonstrations have been escalating for days, sparked by worsening economic conditions in the country. Cost of living is high, inflation is soaring, and Iran's currency recently crashed to a record low against the dollar. This video shows a protester sitting in the street, appearing to defy officers, leading some online to draw comparisons to this image from Tiananmen Square.
No, nobody knows who Tank Guy is. It was never established who this guy's identity was, but I don't know. Do you think he died after the protests?
Well, in Tehran, a number of shopkeepers closed their doors in protest earlier this week. They appear to be the biggest demonstrations in the country
pause
since
it. So it's $1 to 42,067 Iranian rials. Which, I mean, better than Venezuela. They shouldn't be doing too bad.
I don't know. Do you think we need to make Iran great again?
Yes. Wait, okay, so Venezuelan Bolivar? Oh, so they're not pesos? Oh, so were we wrong on that? That's 30 million, and then the other one is like 30 million or something like that. 30 billion, 30 million, something like that. Okay.
Now I'm wondering, people in the live chat, do you think Iran is actually going to attempt to make nuclear weapons, or do you think that they just want nuclear energy?
Well, and then, okay, oh, fuck, I think, did I just lose? Okay, so Trump is always doing this, like, don't do this or else. And then, like, to Israel, for example, and then the next day, Israel is, like, bombing the shit out of Hamas, big surprise. And so, I feel like not much happens, because he didn't give Venezuela a do not do this or else before he captured Maduro, did he?
I think he did don't do this or else when it came to the drug boats.
Yeah, but so when Trump says the don't do this or else, like, it doesn't, what does it really fucking mean?
Well, somebody says, of course they want nuclear weapons. Well, even if that's the case, it's like, do you think they'd actually use their nuclear weapons? Because usually when a country makes nuclear weapons, they're just as a deterrent. And it's just, I don't know. At that point, it's like they don't want them to have nuclear weapons, because then it's like, hey, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want and bully them. So it's like me, it's like, I don't give a fuck if Iran has nuclear weapons, because, I mean, who are we to say which country can and cannot have them? And I mean, is Iran any, well, like, are they any more likely to actually use the nuclear weapons compared to any other country? It's just like what do you think? The only, like, North Korea, that's the only country where I can understand not wanting them to have nukes, because, like, that's the only case where there's, like, a regime where it's like, okay, they might actually be crazy enough to misuse them. But any other country, it's just, they're there, so it's like, you push a button, they push a button, that's it.
Protests erupted over the death of Mahsa Amini. The 22-year-old died in police custody after she was arrested for not properly wearing a hijab. The latest unrest comes amid a period of heightened tension between Iran and the West. The Iranian president recently said his country is, quote, engaged in a full-scale war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe. And earlier this week, President Trump issued this stark warning to Iran over its nuclear program.
I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down.
Dozens of
protesters have to knock them down.
Demonstrators are facing, quote,
ain't he hardcore?
Intimidation and violence from Iran's government, and is calling on the crackdown to end. Kate, we thank you for watching.
So, do you honestly think if Iran had nukes, they would attempt to nuke Israel? I mean, Israel has fucking nukes. That would be the end of Iran. Well, that's what they're saying. And
chat.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, one, they didn't really do a good job. Those missiles that they fired at Israel, because, like, barely any of them got through. But if we're gonna point to, like, Iran and be like, oh my god, they try to attack Israel, look at what Israel's doing in fucking Palestine, and then look at what Saudi Arabia is doing to Yemen. So it's just, I don't think we have any reason to be concerned, or, like, we're not really being consistent when it comes to our ethics, getting mad at Iran, but not Israel and Saudi Arabia for doing the same fucking thing.
Watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live.
Well, I think you're delusional if you think that if they had nuclear weapons, they would actually fire them at Israel. And if they fired them at Israel, it's like, I don't know, they'd pretty much take down Palestine in the process. I mean, Israel's a pretty small country in terms of its surface area.
On our YouTube channel.
Welcome to the News Hour. President Trump today threatened to intervene in Iran if the regime kills peaceful protesters, which it has already done.
Somebody in the chat says, why is everybody stealing and trying to kill each other? Because we're human beings, and that's what human beings do best, especially when it's over the color of people's skins and their religions. Those are reasons people really love killing each other over.
The past 6 days, demonstrations in Tehran have spread
oil as well, yes.
Out the country. The Iranian government has cracked down as it has in the past.
Protests in Iran. Fuck, I'm gonna say Iran.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like the Ukraine people get mad. It's like there's no the in there. Like I've been saying Iran incorrectly. You can't say it's Iran. It's what people keep getting on me over.
What began as a response to skyrocketing inflation has now transformed into a national call for systemic reform, expanding from Tehran's
Telegram. I think I was telling you something about Telegram.
People have been arrested so far, including Kurdish activists.
About what?
About Telegram, because, okay, hold on, sorry, I don't have this, fuck. Well, in this, I guess you can't see where I'm pointing exactly, but in the source on right there, it said Telegram, and I was like, oh, other countries are using Telegram. That was just like, sorry, that was going back to a conversation we had earlier, I believe. So this is from Twitter.
Yes, that. I got banned from Twitter, apparently.
Oh, you're fully banned?
Yeah. Don't know what I did.
Masa Zarei, and at least 8 people have been killed, including a 15-year-old child. In the streets, protesters chant death to the dictator. And students have now joined the demonstrations, as in recent uprisings.
Okay, wait, hold on. There's been all kinds of protests going on. Why didn't Trump care about any of those?
Well, I think he's just like beating his chest. So he's like, hey, if you attack peaceful protesters, you'll regret it. Which, I mean, at least here, I don't know. So with South Africa.
Well, yeah, he cares about the whites.
Yeah. And then in Nigeria, it's like, oh, they're Christians being persecuted. So we're America. We're a Christian nation. So I guess here, freedom of speech. So Trump really cares about freedom of speech, which I call bullshit there. But I think he's just trying to beat his chest. Yeah, I'm head of the global police force.
Like, remember in India, those protests over them taking away, like, YouTube? He didn't care about that, did he?
No. And it's, like, protests are going on all over the world.
Yeah.
Constantly, so.
That's why I don't get, like,
yeah,
because
we're currently butting heads with them, and they currently bomb their, like, nuclear energy programs, their uranium, like, enrichment sites. So.
Oh, okay. The uranium enrichment.
And it would be just another excuse to get involved militarily when it comes to Iran, because we're already butting heads with them.
Asked the Minister of Interior.
Do they have oil for us to steal?
Protesters through dialogue. Meanwhile,
What's
Iran's
that?
foreign minister.
Do they have oil for us to steal?
They got uranium.
Oh, uranium. Okay, sorry. You like literally just said that.
Rated statements. Trump posting this morning, quote, if Iran violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go.
We're that altruistic.
Arakchi responded, calling Trump's statement reckless and dangerous. For more on the protests, we turn now to 2 people who follow developments in Iran closely. Roya Burmand is the co-founder and...
Somebody says, do you know how far Iran is? What the fuck are you talking? I know it borders Iraq and Afghanistan. So it's the most eastern Middle Eastern
Pull up
country.
that map, Gene. Pull up that map. I told you. Let's get a lecture about the Middle East, Gene. You didn't save the map that I told you to.
This is my other browser. So there, Iran. Yeah, so I know Afghanistan and Pakistan technically are not in the Middle East. And Pakistan used to be part of India, used to be part of Britain, which used to be the Mongol Empire. And then Afghanistan, I think, is technically part of the Central East, which is Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Dagestan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan.
The stands.
They're Central Eastern countries.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, as opposed to Middle Eastern?
Yep, you got the Central East and the Middle East. Seems kind of redundant, but yeah.
You have to be fucking lying.
No, look it up. Central, I guess.
Well, I was about to look it up, and then because if you want to get back to Iran. All the stands.
Oh, yep. Here you go. So Afghanistan, I guess, is in the Central East. It's not
Central
in the Middle East,
Asia?
so,
what's the Central Asia?
Well, I mean, Asia's typically just referred to as the East. So you got the Far East, Central East, and the Middle East.
Central East, Middle. Oh God.
Yeah. See, Europe, because white people are so special, we need our own continent. And then everything else is just, it's the East. So, yeah, the rest of this giant landmass, we're not on the same continent, even though it should be. It's like, nope, there's white people land, and then there's everyone else over there.
In Africa.
Yeah. That place down south.
The backyard. Does Europe refer to Africa as their backyard?
I don't know. Some of them probably do.
Of the Abdurrahman Bouraman Center at the nonprofit promoting human rights and democracy in Iran. And Holly Dogres is a senior fellow at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. That's a think tank in Washington, D.C.
Near East.
Welcome to you both. And Holly, I'll begin with you because we have seen large-scale demonstrations in Iran before. How do these protests today compare to those we've seen in the past in terms of the scale and also what sparked them?
Yeah, so they said Middle East isn't a continent. Yeah, well, it's a subcontinent or a subcontinental region. But why is Europe a continent? I always thought that was stupid, like when I was a kid. It's just like, okay, it makes sense why North and South America, even though they're somewhat connected, are considered two different continental regions, but why is Europe its own continent? Because white people, we're so special.
Well, these protests are significant. They're the largest since the 2022 Women Life Freedom Uprising. And while they were triggered by a different event, an economic one related to the collapse of the Iranian rial against the US dollar on December 28th, the grievances of the Iranian people taking to the streets are very much the same, which is systemic mismanagement, corruption, and repression. And for them, they see that all their woes and problems are with the Islamic Republic itself. And that's why you're seeing all these anti-regime chants.
Yeah, because they made the maps. That's right.
Coming from the people, because they believe that the Islamic Republic needs to go. And they felt this way for a very long time now.
Roya, what about you? As you watch these unfold, what stands out to you about how the protests are evolving, especially the fact that they're coming online now just a few years, as Holly noted, after those
I think both of them have too much lipstick on.
2022 Women Life Freedom protests after the death of Mahsa Amini?
It is surprising, the intensity of the repression of...
Is America a continent? It's a mega continent, the same way Eurasia is a mega continent.
The 2022 protest and following the 2022 protest,
someone's
such that one would
clarifying.
expect people to need a few years.
It's not a geographical continent. The geographical one is Eurasia. I know, was it Australia? It's on its own tectonic plate, so that's why it's technically a continental landmass. But then it depends on, like, are you talking about like geology, geography? Because then you look at a map of all like the different tectonic plates and there's like dozens of them. So it seems pretty arbitrary.
Before forgetting and recovering, before coming out in the streets. So it is early, if you will, based on the experience we have from previous years. But at the same time, the situation, the economic situation is so bad. The inflation.
Bill Hicks says it needs more lipstick.
So
Are you going to wear
so
lipstick, Kimberly, on the next stream?
many people are living under the poverty
Should
line
I?
that these outbursts are not surprising in that sense, and the fact that they happen more in.
But I think the United States just needs to be its own continent.
It needs to be its own island.
Canada, Mexico, or whatever. They can be in North America, but then there's Mega America. Because watch Trump do that. He'll create his own continent, rename America just Trump. The United States of Trump. And the Gulf of Trump.
Areas where the people are much more vulnerable economically.
North
and
Trump
socially
and
is
South
also,
Trump.
Significant, I think.
Holly, Roya mentioned there the brutality of the crackdown to the 2022 protests. Are you worried, and do you expect that we'll see the same from the Iranian regime this time? And also, are there demands from the protesters that this regime can actually meet?
Well, we've seen the brutality of the Islamic Republic for 46 years. We talked about the 2022 uprising, and the UN fact-finding mission at the time found that the Islamic Republic had committed crimes against humanity against the protesters during Women Life Freedom. So they do have that ability to crack down in the same matter. And one of the tools of repression that the Islamic Republic uses is mass executions. We've seen that in 2025, they had the highest rate of executions in over a decade with 2,045. And so this is a tool that they use to silence dissent and
So Maduro, he killed like 8,000 people within the same amount of time. So I don't know. Do you think they're that bad? It's only a couple thousand.
Iran?
Yeah,
And
or their supreme leader.
of the protesters. We've seen President Massoud Pezeshkian tweet on X, which is blocked by the Islamic Republic, and Iranians have to use circumvention tools to get online, that they would meet the needs of the protesters. But the truth is, their needs cannot be met by the clerical establishment because they have not had opportunity for years to make changes, and they have not.
I know their first supreme leader, he was exiled from the country and he was living in France, and he used like public radio to protest. So I do think that when he took power, he actually did it peacefully. Like I do think that it was like the people that kind of just embraced like appointing him the supreme leader of the country.
Iranians believe that reform has been dead for a long time.
Roya, what about the reaction that we've seen?
But I guess his successor, people aren't big fans of him.
Yes, specifically from President Donald Trump, threatening U.S. intervention if peaceful protesters are killed. Is that kind of response something that protesters want to see, and you think there's a real possibility there for U.S. action?
Statements by a U.S. president matter a lot, and they matter in the sense that you also have to understand that the battle that the Iranians are fighting is a battle that is physical in the street, in which they have their lives to offer and some stones probably, but the state has resources and has arms and has foreign support. And in that sense, when leaders of democracies pay attention to what's happening, it strengthens the morale of the population. So it has to be clear what the statement of the president means. Does this mean that they're going to bombard somewhere? Does this mean that the end game would be to overthrow the Islam?
Now, what if in like the next 3, 4, 5 days, we see the same thing with Maduro? It's like they're in Tehran and we just see people like filming, and it's like, holy shit, the helicopters fly by and they arrested the supreme leader. And I know like the prime minister of Denmark came out to be like, we're not going to be intimidated by Trump. And then just 4 days after that, they put a bag over her head and started escorting her out.
Islamic Republic. I think these are very sensitive times.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Just like every time somebody calls out Trump, 3, 4 days later, yet another head of state was arrested.
He's just taking them all.
Laws to punish with death. Very peaceful.
It says something about us that we're laughing about that.
Hey, you need some way to cope.
We begin with President Trump's new threats against Iran, hinting at potential U.S. military action there as Tehran cracks down on widespread demonstrations, with the latest clashes turning deadly. Over the last few days, protests have erupted in dozens of cities across Iran, sparked largely by the worsening state of the country's economy. Inflation is soaring, and Iran's currency has fallen to a record low against the U.S. dollar.
You have low IQ takes.
Who said that?
The country since 2022.
Huge unit.
Oh.
That's when mass protests erupted over the death of Mahsa Amini, who died in police custody.
So what are our low IQ takes? What are we getting wrong?
For not properly wearing her hijab. Human rights groups say at least 7 people have died in the recent clashes. And just this morning, President Trump weighed in on the arrest, writing in a post on social media, quote,
"What's that?"
So I was laughing at Bill. Gene made me watch Blue Velvet. Now I'm like,
oh.
If Iran violently kills peaceful protesters with their custody,
Trump is a gift from God.
Their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. The president did not elaborate on those threats, but it does come just days after President Trump issued this warning to Iran about its nuclear and ballistic missile programs following a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
And speaking of Iran, I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. Iran may be behaving badly. It hasn't been confirmed, but if it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. Consequences.
You might as well laugh while you can, because it's not going to end well in the end.
What's
not going to end well in the end. This person, I'm guessing, are they just another bot
that you bought?
Well, I've seen them around before, and they just make comments that are like non sequitur comments that make no fucking sense based on like what we're covering.
Maybe more powerful than the last time.
Officials are hitting back with a senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, alleging without any evidence that
there are certain accounts that only surface when we're covering certain topics, and I'm pretty sure I've seen that like Lady D account before when we've covered Iran. Or Iran. So it seems like, I don't know, like there are certain stock accounts I notice whenever we talk about Ukraine. And there are like accounts that will come in and start defending Russia and Putin.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This like some pro like Iranian, like Iranian. Wait, if it's Iran, then is it Iranian or Iranian?
Oh yeah, Iranian. Maybe you should like make a spreadsheet like, oh, this person comes when we talk about this.
The protests, posting on X, quote, with the statements by Israeli officials.
They're a liberal, Democrat, Christian. Okay.
President Trump, what has been going on behind the scenes is now
talking about
clear.
the end times
Trump should
in the
know that
chat.
U.S. interference in this internal matter would mean destabilizing the entire region and destroying America's interests. Joining me now, NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba, and also with us, Iranian journalist, author, and women's rights activist Masih Alinejad. Thank you so much both for being here. Masih, I'm going to talk to you in just a moment.
Okay, next vid.
Tonight, with deadly clashes erupting in Iran, President Trump backing those protesting against Iran's government and threatening U.S. intervention. Posting, if Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go.
Oh, Hicks says it's Iran. I think they're
Demonstrations in Iran are widespread, many outraged over the government's handling of the economy. They appear to be the biggest protests in the country since 2022, following the death of Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old who died in police custody after she was arrested for not properly covering her hair with a hijab, which led to a harsh government crackdown. This latest unrest comes amid Iran's increasing tensions with Israel and the West.
Okay, it sounded like they said Iran.
6 months ago, the U.S. bombed key Iranian nuclear facilities. Earlier this week, President Trump warned Iran not to rebuild its ballistic missile and nuclear programs. Or,
we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them.
But today's message goes farther, suggesting the U.S. might get involved in Iran's domestic politics beyond its nuclear ambitions. The head of Iran's parliament posting, this open admission makes all American bases and forces across the region legitimate targets if the U.S. intervenes. And a senior Iranian government advisor warning that U.S. interference in this internal matter would mean destabilizing the entire region.
It's now almost a week.
So, seems like when America gets involved in other countries, it always adds stability. When has it ever created instability?
That's what I was about to say.
That we haven't witnessed.
I mean, didn't we do a good job stabilizing like Iraq and what's the other, Afghanistan? I mean, 10 years well spent.
Country and including in capital Tehran. In other small cities, escalations are reported, including in Asna, where 3 people reported they were killed. The demand for the protesters remains almost the same, and that comes from the very economic problems that they are facing in respect to the soaring prices, high inflation, as well as the devaluation.
They want to set up a leader in Iran that will sign on the Abraham, same way they want a leader in Venezuela that just signs over all the oil rights.
Of the local currency, which all in all puts a huge amount of pressure on the ordinary life of Iranian citizens.
Before you could find some meat and chicken in the fridge, but now there's none. I can't afford to buy them. And even when I do buy it, it feels stuck in my throat. Because I know there are so many unfortunate people who can't afford it.
I'm a retiree. My pension has increased 20%, but everything else should have gone up by the same amount. Instead, have risen much more. My income isn't enough. My purchasing power is really low, and I can only afford window shopping.
People have the right to protest issues, and I believe their voices should be heard and followed up on. Not every event is supposed to be portrayed as perfect all the time. People shouldn't be expected to remain silent all the time. If we speak of freedom, then we must listen to those who raise their voices.
The response from the state seems to be different compared to the previous times when we saw protests in Iran. First, it was the
I will say they got a beautiful capital.
Government coming
out to visit Iran?
People to take.
Yeah, Tehran. I want to go to Istanbul.
Protest. Also, Iranian President says that his government is working actively to find solutions for the economic difficulties.
We should go to Kabul.
That people are facing in their daily lives.
That's Afghanistan's capital.
Plus, there is a security concern, and on that, the Secretary for the Supreme National Security Council of the country says that we should distinguish between the protesting shopkeepers and acts of disruptive actors. All in all, people are watching, not to see how the government is going to respond to the protests, but also about the solutions that the government will find to deal with the economic difficulties that they are facing in their daily life. Al Jazeera, Tehran.
Well, state television in Iran is reporting on the U.S. attack on Venezuela this morning. You'll recall that Iran, which has been targeted by U.S. airstrikes last June, has been close to Venezuela.
So do you think Iran, their state media, is in support of the United States?
100%.
Anti-government protests there are escalating, leaving at least 8 people dead. The demonstrators first took to the streets nearly a week ago in frustration over the dire state of the country's economy. And early yesterday morning, President Trump weighed in on social media. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said if Iran, quote, violently kills peaceful protesters.
Okay, they're going over the same shit.
Iran's supreme leader has finally spoken after days of silence as protests over a collapsing economy continue to roil the Islamic Republic. In a rare public acknowledgement, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on Saturday said...
Look at this guy's eyebrow. Like, did he shave that in there? He's like... I'm gangster when I go home, but when I go to work,
appearance shaming.
Professional. You're the biggest appearance shamer ever.
What?
What?
Well, it's when people are overweight. I'm trying to help them.
Yeah, that's appearance shaming.
Well, they shouldn't be overweight. It's bad for their health.
You're such a dictator.
Well, if somebody has like some malignant tumor growing out of their forehead, I'm gonna be like, dude, you should probably get that checked out. You gotta do something about that. When somebody's chronically overweight, it's like you should probably lose the fucking weight. Don't spill over on me, and I'm on a fucking airplane.
We talked to the protesters. They should talk. The authorities should talk to the protesters. But there is no point in talking to the rioters. The rioters should be put in their place. It is absolutely unacceptable for some people to come under various titles and names with the intention of destroying and harming the country. To stand behind the...
Wasn't the first Supreme Leader also named Khomeini? Like, gotta Google it.
Google it. Oh my God, I'm so sick of this reflux. Khomeini?
So I guess they do share the same name.
Breaking news and the new threat.
Faithful, healthy, and revolutionary marketers to abuse their protests and create unrest. We must understand the enemy's work. The enemy does not sit still. It uses every opportunity. Seeing an opportunity here, they tried to use it. Of course, our official...
Oh, he was close but different. Okay. So there's some... Is it God? Yes, I'll post it all over the server.
Okay, well, I asked him to post something. That's what he's referring to.
The remarks come after nearly a week of protests and mark Khamenei's first known reaction since demonstrations erupted over Iran's plunging currency and deepening cost of living crises. Violence shadowed the protests. Iranian authorities say 2 more people were killed on Saturday, taking the death toll to at least 10 as unrest shows no signs of slowing. The protests, now entering their second week, have spread to more than 100 locations across 22 of Iran's 31 provinces, according to the ISW-CTP. Protests took place in 17 out of Iran's 31 provinces between December 28th and 31st and have since spread to 5 additional provinces. The civilian government led by President Masoud Pezeshkian has tried to signal that.
Now, I want to know what has actually contributed to like the decline in their economy. Do you think maybe sanctions something to do with it?
Are they sanctioned?
The only thing I can think of, or tariffs. Well, yeah, because Iran, they were selling kamikaze drones to Russia, so it's Iran Iran, China, and Russia.
Who?
They seem to be peeps with one another, and whoever the United States butts heads with, it's always the 3 of them that seem to want to be trading partners with whoever that party is, like with Venezuela.
Okay, wait. So who sanctioned Iran?
We did.
Okay.
Power is limited under sanctions and systemic pressure. Internationally, pressure is building. President Trump has warned Tehran against using lethal force.
Oh, that's what you get for not sucking the dick of the U.S.
The rescue if peaceful protests and protesters.
Well,
be
that's
smart.
What they get. Well, that's what they get for trying to make nuclear weapons, if they were even trying to do that, because only the United States and Britain and France and Israel can have nuclear weapons.
Are violently killed. Comments that drew sharp warning from Iranian officials, including threats against U.S. troops in the region. All of this comes against the backdrop of Iran's June war with Israel and air strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, a war that has further strained an already fragile economy.
Okay, yeah, what's this deal with... I heard about El Salvador changing their main currency to Bitcoin, or is that what happened? Am I remembering that right? So what, Nicholas, fucking, if Iran and Venezuela changed their main currency to Bitcoin, they'd be all good?
I don't know how stable having some sort of e-currency is.
Yeah.
There are a lot of countries where they use the US dollar as their currency, and they can't print like the dollar because it wouldn't be the US dollar if they printed it. So they just have stockpiles of American cash, and they do that to compensate for their own the instability of their own currency. So a lot of countries that have gone through like some kind of inflation crisis, they will drop their currency in favor of like some other country's currency. Means graphic imagery. We've seen this before. No other video gave a disclaimer.
This exact video.
Where's the graphic content? That was so misleading. Fuck the Independent.
It would be government investment. Well, okay, but Maduro has everybody invest everything into him, right? I don't know what I'm saying.
Tehran.
Here, let's get the next topic.
Today from President Trump against Delcy Rodriguez, Venezuela's interim leader. He told The Atlantic magazine, quote, if she doesn't do what's right, she's going to pay a very big price, probably bigger than Maduro. And his comments come in spite of his previous
What will
position
happen to her?
on U.S. intervention in foreign
Kidnap
countries.
her.
You're tired of the reckless foreign policy, the crazy wars that are never won.
Sorry,
we will
what?
abandon the policy of reckless regime change.
This
Stupid
is so
people.
funny.
So, reckless regime change. So, I don't know. Do you think we'll have a clean regime change? I mean, I'll give Trump credit if they install a new government in Venezuela. And if we check in 6 months from now, like a year, 3 years from now, and things are going well, even though I still think he didn't do it for altruistic reasons, which, to be fair, with any politician, they're never doing it for really, like, truly altruistic reasons. But I guess that would be something positive to put on Trump's resume.
That have been running this operation for
Wait,
30
pause.
years.
Hold
They
on.
come
They're still quite poor. El Salvador actually got loans from the IMF and put it into Bitcoin. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking.
out against me, and all they did is stick us in these endless wars. We're pulling finally these endless wars. And we had to fight other things. When I'm back in the White House, we will expel the warmongers, the profiteers, and take over our government, and we will restore world peace.
Restore world peace. I don't think there's ever been world peace. I think the world's always just been full of war.
He brought, hold on, Gene. He brought peace to the Middle East for the first time in 2,000 years. I think he will bring world peace.
I think there's still lots of fighting in the Middle East.
Well, you're wrong. You don't believe what Trump
I guess
says?
I've never gone to the Middle East. I've never
and
gone
you've never
to,
been
Gaza
over
and
there.
stuff.
Let's
Yeah.
go to Israel.
Author of that
I hear there's lots of peace there.
Atlantic article. Michael, welcome to the show. First of all, how'd you land the interview with the president? And
Yeah, next vid.
What do you think? I have now been your prime minister for more than 6 years. Above
the
all,
fuck?
it has been a
Oh,
great
okay.
honor. And when we face an election later this year, it may turn out that this new year...
So, Greenland, like, it's typically classified as its own country, but it seems like it's not any more sovereign than like
Venezuela.
I don't know, like, well, no, like the U.S., UK Virgin Islands, or I know Aruba is like a Dutch territory. It seems like I don't know why Greenland's typically classified as its own country, because it seems like I don't know, it's still not completely sovereign.
His address was my last. Therefore, allow me this evening to speak
'Cause I
a
think,
little...
like, Denmark does have complete control over all international trade with Greenland. So I think when it comes to any sort of external foreign affairs, everything needs to go through Denmark. So that's what Canada and Australia was like before World War II. They were dominions where they'd operate almost like autonomously within their own borders, but they didn't really have any control when it came to any external policy. So it was like World War II, like Canada declared war on Germany a day after Britain out of a sign of protest of like, hey, we're our own country now. So Seems like Greenland is like what a dominion was classified as, like in like pre-World War II British Empire.
More directly, both on political matters and on a personal level. I have become a social democrat because I firmly believe in justice, and I have become prime minister because I truly believe that we can make
Trump is going to make Greenland great again.
even better.
Well, I mentioned like maybe try to buy Maduro out, like,
Yeah.
hey, we'll give you a vacation home and just let somebody else run the country. I guess that wouldn't work because he tried to buy Greenland and they didn't go for it.
I have truly done my very best for it. But at the same time, the situation turned out completely different than I had imagined. First, the coronavirus arrived, then war returned to Europe, and now again the conflict over Greenland, over the kingdom. I believe that these crises have truly helped to shape
War returned to Europe.
all of us.
So I know there was the Bosnian like civil war. Were there any?
Me too.
I still think there is this one video where Trump said that like the Ukraine war is the deadliest war since World War II. We got to find that because I don't know. He doesn't seem to know his modern history.
Have made me much tougher. Not internally, but rather in the public debates, and I can personally observe the transformation in the photographs. A portion of the criticism directed at me is entirely justified, and I genuinely take it to heart. I have been deeply preoccupied with ensuring that together we successfully guide Denmark.
Okay, see, Trump is the greatest president ever because he says he's the greatest president, and he's never had to come on camera and ever apologize or take accountability for anything. So, don't you think Greenland would be much better under his control as opposed to like this particular head of state? She admits it.
And Europe through this particularly challenging period. But along the way, I haven't always listened properly to all of you and to you personally. We haven't done enough in relation to the rising food prices. We haven't done enough in relation to the growing inequality. And we haven't done enough for the children and young people who are not thriving. This must be different. And that responsibility.
Well, yeah, like the Syrian civil war, that I believe had casualties that were in the millions. And then like the Second Congo War, that's the deadliest military conflict since World War II. And that had like 6-7 million casualties like attributed to it. And then there's the Chinese Civil War, the Russian Civil War, they had casualties in the millions. Vietnam and the Korean War, like they had casualties like in the millions. So the Russian-Ukraine war currently has like 500,000 casualties. So it's not even in the 7 digits yet. And like Burma, there's so many like the casualty counts that are currently going on in Burma are roughly the same as in Ukraine. Same thing with Sudan. And then you had the Tigrayan War in Ethiopia, which had hundreds of thousands of casualties. So even wars that are currently going on, Ukraine isn't it's one of the deadliest wars currently happening, but there's other wars going on that are just as deadly.
It is mine. And so, first to you, parents and grandparents who are watching tonight. We probably all know a child or a young person who isn't doing well. A child whose childhood is burdened by anxiety, school refusal, ill-being, or a lack of faith in themselves and in life. And even though most children and young people in Denmark fortunately live good and happy lives, they see a world that is opening up before their very eyes, and they have dreams, and they have hope for the future. But there are far too many children and families who are struggling against the darkness, either in their minds or in the experience of struggling against the system. In other words, far too many people find themselves alone in a difficult situation. So, what do mum and dad do? You bravely go to work. You always do your very best. But the doubt, it truly gnaws at you.
Okay, when is she going to get to Trump?
Are they calling
Seems
from
to be a misleading title.
School again now? A teenager who perhaps spends too much time alone at home without a healthy, strong community with others. Arguments about screen time, about mobile phones.
First world problems, am I right?
And social media. A failed inclusion in the public school system.
I don't know why I
There are many of you
can't
who
pay
are spread
attention
very
to
thin,
this.
And as a society,
What's that?
I don't know why I can't pay attention to this.
Well, it says Denmark Prime Minister issues blunt warning to Trump on Greenland after we have to have a thread. She's not even talking about Trump yet.
Well, okay, at least when Trump issues his threats, he gets just right to it. He doesn't make this long. He's doing it right.
Well, this is a warning, not a threat. But imagine Trump is set, like they sit him down to have him watch this, and he's like, "Whoa, I don't get it." And she's not talking about me.
Or united in addressing this. We are in the process of changing the public school system, and we are in the process of strengthening mental health care. More young people now have a part-time job, and I truly believe we all understand that there isn't one simple solution to this, and that each of us bears a responsibility. But there are some right now who are actively stealing the very childhood from our children. The tech giants. I believe they must be regulated much more strictly. And the owners of these vast social media platforms, they have made millions. No, they've actually made billions at the expense of other people, especially our own children. It is high time that they now begin to pay back.
Wait. So are they calling them? So Australia, they ban social media for teenagers.
Uh-huh.
So,
France is next, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know. We don't want to be like all these socialist countries with their universal daycare and universal health care. They're banning social media for the youth.
So that their enormous fortunes are also invested in well-being, especially among children and young people.
Now,
not just in
fair, I do need to cover AI more and just oh, what, you didn't like it when I showed you that video on
No, I did not like it.
Singularity is near.
It's taken me a while to calm down from it.
But like when it comes to chronic internet use, it is something that is having a pretty detrimental effect on people's attention spans and younger generations. It's like we're fucked. Nobody can pay attention to like a video that's longer than like 20-30 seconds. So it's getting harder and harder for like the younger generation to sit down and like just focus on writing an essay.
That's why God, if you will, sent me to you, because I have ADD and it's hard for me to fucking pay attention. So it's like, oh, you do all this bitching about pay attention? Well, here's this shit. Good luck.
But when it comes to like the internet, it's like giving everybody ADD, but now there's AI where people don't even know how to perform basic, I guess, academic tasks. Because it's like, oh my God, how do I even come up with a sentence to write? So not only like have literacy rates been declining, but now AI is a thing.
Well, and teachers suck, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's 10 years before everyone is just, it's WALL-E. And everyone is just confined to a chair and just like, or not even WALL-E. It's going to be like a hybrid between WALL-E and Idiocracy. Everyone's just like almost completely lobotomized and they're just drooling in front of a screen. Mindless
but across the whole of Europe. I would very much like to spearhead this work. I myself was born back in the 1970s.
You're pessimistic.
Okay. I was going to say she seemed modest and everything. Now, I think she's pretty narcissistic. So now she's like going, I was born in like 1905. It's like, lady, I thought you were supposed to be talking about Trump.
Phones or social media platforms. However, on the other hand, unemployment was quite high and the economy was in a very poor state. That was when John Mogensen sang that something was wrong in Denmark. As long as the wallet's in order, then you can get exactly what you want. I wonder what he would have said if he had been alive today. Even though Denmark is clearly both a better and a richer society, and even though we are living longer and significantly more people have received a good schooling and education,
Denmark is a better society than
inequality has grown larger.
America.
Oh, that is pretty narcissistic of her.
Well, I agree with that. I'd rather live in Denmark than the United States.
This is a development that I, as Prime Minister, have consistently...
And I do believe Denmark, like all the like Nordic countries, had better like education than we do.
Try to go up against.
We'll see, so people aren't going to be drooling in their chairs and all that.
For those of you who have had the longest and the hardest work...
She's making it sound like my fellow like Danish people. I know it's like terrible and horrible. It's like, wait, isn't like Denmark one of the countries that's like on the top of the Human Development Index and the Happiness Index? And
yeah, aren't they the happiest? I think I've heard that.
I don't think they're up there, but it's like if she's making things sound pretty desolate. So if they're as fucked as she's making it seem, then I don't know. I want to move to Mars.
Lives.
You want to
We have given a
move
pay
to
raise to you,
Mars?
especially in the women's professions, who work with our children, our elderly, and our sick. We have increased elder care. We have made the unemployment benefit system more equitable
She's
for
just
Danish wage
fucking
earners.
bragging.
We have helped thousands of people move from welfare into the labour market. We have
Happiest
fought against housing speculators, and we have injected much more money into our common
countries.
welfare.
Okay, but
But we
that
haven't done enough,
country.
because something is wrong when families.
Hold on, let me look it up. So I feel like I have to see the population is 6 million people, and the U.S. is 350 million people. Yeah, I bet it's a lot easier to make 6 million people happier than 350 million. Gene.
6 million. That's still a decent amount of people.
Okay, it's Finland and then Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, and the Netherlands. The Netherlands is fucking tiny. Population is 18 million and okay, well I guess it's not that tiny.
So Iceland is considered the most developed country, and then Denmark is number 4. Jesus.
What did you search for?
Well, this
human,
is the human
development. I
the
just
Human
did the
Development
happiest.
Index. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that they're. So what are they in the happiness index?
Well, AI tells me it's Finland followed by Denmark.
So they're the second happiest country and the 4th most developed country, or in terms of the Human Development Index. And then she's talking about how it's hard times and everything.
Just average.
Oh, Israel's up there.
find
What the fuck? Okay, this list is bullshit. Come on.
I don't know, Israel, they seem pretty happy, like obstructing all the foreign aid to like Gaza.
Apartment they can afford in Copenhagen. While elsewhere in the country, people can barely get a loan for a detached house. And something is wrong when some have become rich simply by living in the right place, while others struggle to make ends meet when
So, have you all had a good warsh?
they go to the supermarket.
Warsh?
And there is something fundamentally wrong when
Oh.
some individuals can retire at an early age,
Nicholas
while the majority
Rosa.
of others can only see their retirement age just continuously rising. I don't believe that everyone should be alike, but in my view, Denmark is simply too small for such significant disparities. This applies especially when it comes to healthcare. For many years, it has been the case.
Look at how much she is like beating herself up, and she's like, I'm sorry I couldn't make things better." And it's like, dude, Denmark, it's like it said that they actually moved up a couple spots recently in terms of development. God, I don't know. Americans, like, you got Trump saying he's the greatest and everything, and America's just declining in all these areas. And you see that things just progressively are getting worse and worse and worse when it comes to all of these indexes and metrics. And look at how well they're doing. And she's like telling her people in this like public address, like, I'm sorry that I'm such a terrible like prime minister.
Okay, the Iceland population is 389,000. So small.
So we need to I
Just,
don't know.
like, if
reduce
we-
our population.
If we divided the country into
If we nuked the
multiple different
country
countries
and murdered most of the people, and we made it so we had less than 1 million, then it would be a lot easier.
Stop talking to me.
That there are the fewest doctors in the parts of Denmark where the most people are ill. In fact, it should really be the other way around. And that is changing now. More doctors will now be coming to Vendsyssel and to Lolland. And for those of you who live with a chronic illness, that could be COPD. You, a heart patient, diabetes. You can now finally look forward to more cohesive treatment. Now it's your turn to receive your patient rights.
Oh my God, communism.
And when
You're
it comes to
Well,
cancer,
that's the other thing. When they try to claim that, hey, Bernie Sanders, he's a communist because they're trying to install universal health care.
Okay, I've never heard that he's a communist. I've only heard that he's socialist.
No,
So-
well, people on the right try to argue that he's communist because to them, socialism and communism is the same thing.
My parents are Republicans, so they represent all Republicans, and they've said that he's socialist and he's really fucked up because he's against fracking.
Well, I get a bunch of Trump tards in the chat that claim he's communist.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Denmark, Norway, Finland, Iceland, all of these countries have those sort of socialist policies that people try to claim makes like Bernie a communist, and the country's doing a lot better than the United States. People
Quit
are a lot
shitting on the
happier
United
based on the
States.
happiness index.
there's now more help on the way for those of you who've fortunately survived the disease, but might be struggling with some long-term
Trump
effects.
is shit. Congratulations for Brazil Yeah.
Brazil.
Do you
No,
remember the
Trump's
healthcare
going to make Brazil great again.
policy from a couple of years ago?
He's
We need
going
to
to
go to
make
Rio de Janeiro.
everywhere great again.
There were long waiting times at hospitals, and we lacked both nurses and midwives. We've done something about that. However, one of the areas where assistance is still severely lacking is for those of you who are living with one of the most cruel and devastating diseases known to mankind: dementia. First, people begin to forget. Then perhaps their behavior starts to change, and eventually they become completely unrecognizable. To be close to a person who...
When is she going to... Like, Trump's probably watching this. He's like, when is she
No,
going to
he's
talk
not.
about me?
He's falling
is slowly fading away
asleep.
before your very eyes. That is truly unbearable, and many of us have experienced this profound loss. I am allowed to have my memories, sings Lever Wheels so beautifully, but it's only a small comfort for you, the caregiver. And even though medical science still can't cure dementia, we must
So
get...
this is dubbed, and I'm wondering, I mean, I would do terrible with the buffer words, the ums and likes, but I'm wondering how many ums and likes buffer words has she probably used if we're watching this not dubbed.
Well,
But,
according to you, Europeans are just fucking perfect, so she's probably used none, and she speaks perfectly.
well, look at Trump. And
We
it
are the
seems
greatest.
like, I don't know, Trump is very like, he probably has what she's talking about, dementia, because of how circumstantial his speech is.
much better at detecting the disease earlier, at preventing it, alleviating it, and seeing the person who is still within. And we can provide more assistance, and we can offer greater support to you as a family member or caregiver.
Now, the question is, are they going to cure dementia before I'm old enough to be at risk for developing it? Because I don't care about like older people today. I just care about when I'm going to be old. Yeah.
All of this forms a crucial part of the National Dementia Plan, which the government will be presenting early in the new year. We are also establishing the very first National Research Centre specifically dedicated to women's health. And we are doing this because
women's health, that's something
women's
that's
health
lacking.
conditions have been severely underprioritized for far too many years. We are determined to change that, and we will examine how we can better assist those of you struggling with discomfort or injuries after childbirth.
Clearly, if Trump had dementia, they wouldn't be giving him cognitive tests every other week.
He gets tested every
I
other
believe there's been a
week.
rather
No, he doesn't.
mindset prevailing in our society and within our healthcare system, that we women are simply expected to grit our teeth and just take a couple of painkillers. However, postpartum complications must be taken seriously and properly addressed. That should actually go without saying. Politics can still make a difference, even when it's an unusual government that is in power. I do not regret that 3 years ago we formed a government across the political divide. In a world that
So I do like what she's saying here, but she hasn't said anything about Trump yet.
is characterized by division and unrest, we chose to cooperate. It has clearly not been to our advantage as political parties, but I am not in any doubt whatsoever that it has truly served Denmark. And that, I believe, is the absolute most important thing. And tonight, I would very much like to make a sincere appeal that the political parties here in Christiansborg do not allow themselves to drift too far apart in their public discussions. This is especially true when it comes to the prices of food. We cannot control the global prices of raw materials, but we can certainly mitigate some of the consequences. Just take a look at your next paycheck, or perhaps your next payment, or even your electricity bill, where the tax will very soon
Is this just like
disappear.
her fucking speech?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't very, I mean, this sounds like addressing the country speech, not
Well, I do think
addressing
it's
Trump.
interesting from an external perspective, seeing what like their like head of state or head of government has to say. And it does show just the parallels, the juxtaposition to like the United States, how...
Well, no, but Gina, I'm asking, is this just like a fucking speech for her country? Because it's not
it looks
specifically...
like it's a public address, and
oh,
this
okay.
is Hook Global, so it seems like it's a misleading... Stand strong, Denmark. I'd forgotten what a normal politician sounds like.
Thanks to favorable collective bargaining agreements, a substantial increase in wages, the steadily rising pension provisions, and the
I'm
recent tax
wondering maybe she'll bring up Trump.
Oh,
the end
it's
of the video.
clickbait. It has to be clickbait.
Yeah.
single mothers and fathers. So, most Danes this year will have more money at their disposal, even after buying groceries for dinner or packing lunches for their children. But it's still too expensive to shop, and unfortunately, this primarily impacts those of you Danes who already have very little money to get by on. I mentioned earlier that we haven't done enough regarding the high food prices, and that is what we are doing now.
So, do you think Trump's going to do a better job than she is when it comes to making sure food is affordable?
The
Like, you
government
saw
will
it the other day on Grubhub. It's like a sandwich and a Coke is like 40 fucking bucks.
propose that a food grant
Look
be
at
introduced
Gene
this year.
flexing how much
It will
money
go, among
he
others,
spends
to
on
you
food.
pension.
Well, I don't usually order, but
Oh, that's such a fucking lie. You order all the time.
Well, I have my blender. I make smoothies.
Yeah, otherwise, you don't cook. I never order out. You always hear me cooking.
I order out when I run out of my frozen berries that I use for my smoothies.
Gene, you're a big fucking liar.
No, I make every morning.
But that's not...
I have my...
Okay, but like going out to eat... Well, that's not going out to eat. But isn't she talking about food prices like grocery food prices?
Yeah.
Okay, then shut the fuck up. Your argument...
Well, it's just food in general.
That was delivery. So on top of... Okay, you can't include that. Like, of course, going out to get food is going to be more expensive than grocery store.
I don't know. The closest grocery store to me is Mom's, and that's pretty expensive.
Mom's?
It's like a Whole Foods.
Oh, okay. So how much does a bag of chips cost?
Oh, it's like $5-6.
Yeah, it is expensive.
Who don't have a large fortune in the bank, to you who are out of work, and to you families with children who don't have...
I mean, to me, it's like everything is at least $30 fucking bucks these days.
Incomes. It will simply be a direct
Well,
cash
to be
transfer.
fair, you don't go to the grocery store. You order everything off of Amazon, right?
Yeah, I can't drive because
I know that. I know, but that my point is that with me, I'm able to go to different grocery stores to get the best price, and you're not doing that. So I don't think you're the most fair representation of like how much things cost. And I mean, I'm not saying that I am either, because I've been in other parts of the country where it is more expensive. You know, I can't wait to see what it is like in Miami, for example. But I don't know where I was going with that. But the point is, you're not the spokesperson for fucking grocery store prices.
Well, the other day, I was ordering a shrimp salad sub and a Diet Coke, and it was $70.
Serious? Get out.
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding.
That you have to show me this later.
I'll show. It was $70 fucking.
Yeah, you have to show. What? I mean, do you mind sharing the restaurant or the?
Well, no, that would probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was with like delivery and everything, but still.
More money to spend when you go to the supermarket, but it won't make prices actually fall. And that's why the government, in the economic plan that we will present here in the new year, will also allocate funds to significantly lower the VAT.
I mean, pause. I'm sorry. Like, I'm freaking out because I really want to buy more yogurt, and it's like $6 to $7 per container, and I think I go through it like in a week or something like that. And you're here buying a $70 sandwich?
Okay, I did not buy it. I was like, no, I'm not spending $70 on a fucking sandwich. I actually did walk to the grocery store that day. It's like...
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cheaper, or the sales tax is removed from all fruit and vegetables. We are now beginning the process of negotiating with the political parties in Parliament. Another thing that we will also be introducing this year. This is a new deportation reform, and it will mean that even more criminal foreign nationals will be sent out of Denmark. But let me first say this to all of you who have come here and truly embraced Denmark as your own, and to all of you whom we genuinely need in our society. You can absolutely be Danish, even if your favorite dish isn't meatballs or mackerel sandwiches for that matter. We Danes, we don't all look the same, and there's no need for us to. But we must be willing to live together.
I don't know. Have you ever tried to live with another person where they have a different level of melanin in their skin? It's a nightmare.
And in Denmark, it is understood that if democracy...
Say that you're joking!
I'm joking. Being facetious. I'm making fun of racist people.
Ever clash, then it is God who must yield. And therefore, to those individuals who have come to our country and are committing crimes.
Okay, I don't like how she's doing the stupid God thing here.
You should not be here. We will not tolerate your reckless driving. We will not tolerate your culture of dominance. You are destroying the world's most beautiful country. And you simply...
Okay. Wait. Sounds like we're getting some xenophobia here.
Hold on. Trump warns of potential second strike on Venezuela. Who is he gonna kidnap next?
I don't know.
Individuals who
well,
have come
there's their defense minister, so I think he's still up and running like in Venezuela. So I'm guessing they're going after him.
Well, so this is a video, so I guess he did some fucking speech.
To our country and are committing crimes. You should not be here. We will not tolerate your reckless driving. We will not tolerate your culture of dominance. You are
Okay, who's she talking about here?
Danes. We don't all look the same, and there's no need for us to. But we must be willing to live together. And in Denmark, it is understood that if democracy and religion ever clash, then it is God who must yield. And therefore, to those individuals who have
it's God that must yield.
Come to our country and are committing crimes. You should not be here. We will not tolerate your reckless driving. We will not tolerate your culture of dominance. You are destroying the world's most beautiful country.
Culture of dominance. She's not referring to any specific culture or any specific group, but I guess she's implying something here.
You simply will not be allowed to do that. No one can understand why an Iraqi man who was convicted for brutally assaulting an innocent person with a golf club cannot be deported. Or why a previously convicted man from Kosovo, who was found guilty of abusing his children and spouse for several years.
Never mind. Things have gotten... She's got to go into Trump territory here.
Should be allowed to remain here. The government therefore proposes that foreigners be expelled in the future if they commit serious crime and are sentenced to at least 1 year in prison. And that's regardless of their ties to Denmark. And thus, the clear principle is established that if, for example, one is convicted of rape or aggravated assault, or any other form of what we call serious crime, then their time here in Denmark is over. Thanks to a strict Danish immigration policy, and where we already push the boundaries of conventions, we are already deporting many of the foreigners who unfortunately came here and commit crimes. The reason we can now move forward is that before...
I gotta look into this more, because the thing is, the United States, illegal immigrants commit less crimes than legal immigrants, and legal immigrants commit less crimes than natural-born citizens. So I'm wondering what the data is for Denmark, and it's like if there's this mass push to deport immigrant, I don't know. I was like, you know what? I'm agreeing with everything she's saying up until we've gotten to this point.
Christmas, Denmark, together with Italy, successfully gathered support from
20... Italy! Okay, so Italy, they've been developing some pretty xenophobic sort of sentiments recently, and Germany, like they've kind of been shifting more to the right. So I don't know, this is kind of
7 countries for a new interpretation of the European Convention on
Human
Rights.
Never mind, I don't like what she has to say anymore.
From now on, it must primarily be the populations and the victims who are to be protected, and not the perpetrator. And instead of waiting for many years for this to be reflected in the practice of the courts, we in Denmark are taking the lead and will implement this legislation before summer. My speech tonight has not been about foreign policy, although it certainly could have been.
She did not mention Trump at all during this entire fucking speech.
Is it done?
Yeah. But I guess I gotta look into this and cover it more next stream. I want to look into like what's going on with Denmark and their supposed issues with immigration.
Yeah. Because like, who's immigrating there?
Well, it's
who are there
347 where I am, and I think we've gone on for a while. It's been God, it's not telling me the time, but we have gotten over 10,000 views this stream. Yeah. But clearly we're just view botting, even though we've got plenty of activity in the chat. But I think we'll call it a night. And maybe tonight we can do another stream, or I guess it's already,
Monday night?
Yeah. So Bill Hicks, I know he likes to get all mad when I miss a stream and everything, but just for Bill Hicks, I promise we'll go live tonight. And if I don't, you can blame Kimberly.
Okay.
It was her fault that we didn't go live last night.
This dude.
What?
Do y'all even know? See, I have the power to stop streaming, and I'm not going to stop streaming until I was like, Gene, we have to stream tonight because this shit with Venezuela is like crazy. And he's like, sure thing. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what kind of answer that is. And then like we get in the voice chat and I'm like, dude, I took notes. Like, I'm so excited. And then like, I'm like, okay, well, I need to take a nap. And then he's kind of like, well, do you want to stream? Do you not want to stream tonight? I swear, Gene, you were trying to push this on me so much. And then at 11 p.m. my time, he's just like, do you want to stream? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I got already, my hairspray was in my hair and we were literally like this. We were literally like this. And all I had to do was push start streaming. And he's just like, I'm sleep deprived. I don't want to stream.
You could have made me stream and you decided not to.
No, I don't think I could have. Because I was trying. I was like, Gene, you'll feel so much better if you stream.
You should have tried harder.
Okay.
It's not my fault you didn't wrench my arm enough.
This dude, oh my god. Yeah, I did my fucking homework. Exactly.
Oh, and Furby. Looks like they joined our Discord. So yeah, we need more people to join the Discord. But I guess we did good this stream, so I'll try to stream tomorrow. Now the chat rate's going up, the view count's going up. That always happens when I mention that we're going to stop streaming. The views start to go up. Maybe I got to exploit this more.
Maybe it's because I was making fun of you. That's why it went up. Because I was like, fucking Gina's Hitler. I feel like if your previous co-hosts see this, they're going to be like...
No. Shh. Can't mention them.
She's getting it.
Okay.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. Are you ready for me to stop streaming?
Yes, I'm ready to cease.